Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody. Tuesday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports as we prep you and get closer to the Super Bowl, just 5 days away. Opening media night kicked off last night. Johnny Mac, how you doing in this Tuesday morning edition of Birds 365?
It's 1 day closer, so 1 day better. Trying to get to this football game, trying to get to Super Bowl 59 and get to it. But you saw media night, so how'd you enjoy it? Did you enjoy Jameis Winston asking everybody their favorite color?
People are asking.
I'm a curmudgeon.
I'm
a curmudgeon already.
Yeah, all sorts of. I mean, like, you're going curmudgeon. I'm going curmudgeon too. All right, and I'm allowed to go curmudgeon without getting called a curmudgeon. So, yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. There was some good stuff, but 98% of it wasn't very good. You know, Jeffrey Lurie spoke a little bit. Jalen Hurts spoke. Yeah, I don't want to get too into that. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but there wasn't much there to take from it. Is there anything that stuck out to you, John McMullen, as
I mean, Jeffrey stuck out to me because there's legitimate questions asked, and about the future of Lincoln Financial Field, the future of trying to get a Super Bowl to Philadelphia. Which, if they want to get a Super Bowl to Philadelphia, they're going to have to build a dome. Let's be honest. The Boston Celtics rumors he kind of shut down, although he didn't completely shut them down. He's very savvy, as he typically is. But basically said there's no truth to them. So stuff like that. And the Rams, there's been a rumor that the Eagles are going to play the Rams in Australia, not 2025, but 2026. I mean, it's natural that the NFL is going to Australia. And it's natural to put the Eagles in there if you can because of Jordan Mailata. And he's been doing work, sort of advanced work for that for a number of years now. So it makes sense that the Eagles would go there, but Jeffrey shot that down and said they'd love to go there, but they're not giving up another home game. And the Rams would be a home game that year. So, if they're going, they'd be the road team. So it wouldn't be the Rams. So some actual news from the owner. So that was, you gotta look under rocks to find the actual important stuff. But and then you found out some people's favorite colors. So that was enjoyable.
Carson Wentz spoke too, so he spoke.
Yeah, I saw Carson talk a little bit about. It's ironic because I think Golden Tate was on some kind of podcast talking about how fractured the relationship was with Nick Foles. Which I don't know how you could have a fractured relationship with Nick Foles.
Right. Carson was mentioned, and he still.
Yeah, he still talks. I love. No offense, but and even Brandon Graham, who I love, you shouldn't be talking about other people's personal relationships.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree. It's not my cup of tea. It's and I don't
only from the standpoint of you can't know. I mean, I don't know. But he claims they still talk and whatever.
I don't know. I will say this about Carson Wentz. I obviously was not a fan of him at the time, and I do think there needs to be some accountability on his part where he, and I think he's taken it. But yeah, he didn't do everything right. I think he'll be the first person to tell you that. But if you look at that guy's career, John, he's had a tough career, man. You go from 17 being the MVP. All right, with
he didn't win it. A potential MVP.
A potential MVP, right? Yeah. A potential MVP. And you kind of crash and burn the way you do. You're become a NFL journeyman. You're back up now to the best, the greatest quarterback in the modern era or in your era of football. And I understand why it's hard for him to deal with all of this shit. I understand. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying he couldn't have done a better job, but I certainly understand how that fall from grace might weigh on you mentally. How do you not think about that over and over? How does that not eat at you?
I don't feel bad for him. Unforced errors. Look, I think two things are. Carson Wentz was tremendously important to the only Super Bowl championship in this franchise's history, which I don't think people give him enough credit for that. And I consider the draft pick a success because it got him to where it got him. But it was like a shooting star, and then where you thought you had the answer for 10 years. And I don't. We'd have to do a 4-hour show to relive everything that went on
Yeah.
back then. But it was a host of things. One was the injuries. That's the most notable. Two, man. I mean, I was talking about the NFL's a weird deal, right? I mean, you're expected it as, and some people ingratiate this and embrace it as a veteran player. You're supposed to help along essentially the people that are there to take your jobs if they play well, the younger players.
Right.
So it's a weird dynamic to begin with. And some people, Slay's a perfect example because of guys like Glover Quinn, he always talks about, and who really helped him as a young player, and he thinks it's his responsibility to pay it forward. And then there's others like Carson who just didn't handle it well. I mean, the Eagles did not draft Jalen Hurts to take Carson Wentz's place.
Right.
There's a lot of revisionist history there.
Yeah, and Jalen deserves a lot of credit, by the way, for stepping into that role and seizing the opportunity and becoming the starter and forcing their hand. You're not going to move off me, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that too.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm not even talking about Jalen. I'm talking about Carson.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like, it was in his head. It's like, why are you drafting a quarterback? And it's like, dude, they told you they wanted to cost up, but he didn't believe them. And he went into this weird, and then I think COVID really hurt him.
Yeah, and he talked about that last night. It was just a
Did
weird
he?
ending.
I didn't see that part.
He just said it was a weird ending because it was also the COVID year. It was just the whole thing was
well.
weird. I mean, look,
I think one of the things, and Jalen did this, and most young quarterbacks are really behind the curve when it comes to mechanics because they're just not taught it at the college level, at least that well. And Carson, when he came here, he had tremendous talent, obviously really poor mechanics. And then he went out to Los Angeles to work with Tom House and Adam Daydew. And he had this big spike in his near MVP year. And then COVID came and he stopped working with him and his mechanics started to slide. So that's part of the on-field stuff. Right. Jalen Hurts, same thing. He worked with Quincy Avery for a number of years. The mechanics weren't there, let's be honest. And then he went out to work with Tom and Adam and they got better. And he continues to do it. He'll go out to California every year now, at least for a short period of time to make sure he keeps that up. Carson never did. That's a part of it. The concussion, I'm sure, is a part of it. The injuries, that was a very serious knee injury. It wasn't just a torn ACL. That's a part of it. But the biggest part is, he just didn't handle the draft of Jalen Hurts well.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Yeah. Well, I think he had PTSD because his backup won a Super Bowl. Then you bring in a new backup. He got hurt in 18, finally got his start in 19, and he played a quarter before he got concussed. And then 2020, it all unwinded, and he was gone. I mean, it was a weird. Whatever. The only point is, I do still have some semblance of love for the guy. He was a huge
Eagles
part.
fans should, because
he was a huge part in our first ever Super Bowl. And right now, our only ever Super Bowl. So I do respect him in that sense, but it's not hard for me to admit that he did a lot of things wrong.
Well, he did a ton of things wrong, but I really think people have sort of erased, not everyone, I think a lot of people understand, but a lot of people have erased just how much he meant to that 2017 team. And I don't think you can do that. And I think that's why, when people judge Howie, that's a success. That's not a failure. And I've had that discussion with Jody over the years. I'm like, how do you consider that a failure? I mean, they got one, and he was the best player on that team.
Yeah, it's true.
And for people that think that they would have won with Nick Foles because of the way he finished. I mean, come on. You think you're going through 17 games with Nick Foles and winning a Super Bowl? The Eagles don't. I'll tell you that.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. No doubt about it. Yeah, the other thing, Jeffrey Lurie, by the way, just to move on here from Carson Wentz, the other thing that Jeffrey Lurie said, John, which I don't like, all right? I will be fully transparent with everybody. I do not like this mentality, okay? And Jeffrey Lurie kind of alluded to it. He was being interviewed. This was before the shenanigans started. It was like before 8 o'clock. I want to say it was like 7:30, 7:40-ish. He got interviewed by Ian Rappaport, and I'm blanking on the lady's name on NFL Network. I apologize to her, but and he got asked about the adversity, right? And being in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and with what happened last year, how you kind of had a down year, and now you're back. And he's like, well, it's kind of like life, there's ups and downs in life. And when he pointed back to the Super Bowl, he referenced how it all changed with 1 minute and 38 seconds left when we were almost like we were robbed of the opportunity. And I'm like, so you're telling me the owner of the football team doesn't look back at the loss in the Super Bowl and say, the loss is the adversity. He's saying the flag that they threw on James Bradbury is the adversity. Like, that is the most BS victim mentality I've ever heard in my life. And that pissed me off when he said that. And I'm like, what, Jeffrey Lurie? Are you kidding me? And he's like, it started right there from the adversity and getting back to this point. And I'm like, man, whatever. You lost a football game. Come on.
I like that you say it, but it doesn't surprise me that Jeffrey. I mean, he's like a fan. He's not like a fan. He is a fan. He wants them to win.
Come on, man. That is a dumb comment from the football team.
Yeah, I agree. I always go back to James Bradbury. James, for me, he closed the book for me right after the game. He said, yeah, it was a penalty. I wish they didn't call it, but they called it. And I always had tremendous respect for James for standing up like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame anybody. Even when I yell at fans for talking about officials, pre-talking about officials, which Clark Hunt was Roger Goodell shut down the conspiracy theorist Clark Hunt. It's absurd that people think there's a conspiracy to keep the Kansas City Chiefs on top of the NFL. Yeah, that Midwestern metropolis. Let's get Kansas City on top. It's absurd.
That's pretty funny, John.
On the face of it. And Roger was asked the question. I don't know. It's sad that you even have to be asked that question, but it is what it is. And I found Clark Hunt is a Birds 365 viewer as well, because he brought up Michael Jordan. It's like everybody forgets, man. Bulls three-peat. So many damn calls went their way because of the reputation of Michael Jordan, the Jordan rules. Look, I'm not saying that doesn't go on, because it does, but you got to get there. You got to earn that deference before you get that deference. And the Chiefs do have it, and Patrick Mahomes does have it. I'm not trying to say they don't, but it's not unique.
Super Bowls. I mean,
people said the same thing about Brady and Belichick and the Patriots and the cheat and all that bullshit. They're jealous. They're jealous of the success.
No, you're right. And one other thing, John, I want to mention, and then we'll move on, because I got a good topic for you. All right. Jeffrey Lurie dropped a risk-averse last night. Now, I know that's a word that people use. That John didn't create the word risk-averse, but I'm watching that, and I'm like, boy, I think Jeffrey Lurie's been listening to John McMullen. How many times on this show, for all of our great viewers, has John McMullen used the phrase risk-averse in the last 45 days? So Jeffrey Lurie dropped that when talking about Howie Roseman and himself taking risks to get back to this moment. So credit to them. But I thought that was interesting that he used risk averse.
Yeah. And I think that's why, the way the Eagles went offensively is so strange, because they are so not risk averse when it comes to building the football team. And that has given them the advantage it has given them to where they've been able to put together the best roster in football, because they aren't risk averse and they're willing to take chances that other teams are not willing to take. Saquon Barkley, Jalen Carter, for different reasons. They're willing to take those kinds of risks. Other teams are not, and they've had a huge advantage. Part of it is that Jeffrey gives Howie the rope to make mistakes, like Bryce Huff, for instance. You know, other people get fired, you know, for that. And Howie hates that, but it's true. I'm sorry, Howie. It's true. You have a longer rope than every other general manager in this league, and that you use it a huge advantage. Not his fault. He's earned it.
And credit to him, he's used it he's used it well.
And that's why it's so strange, and we talked about it all year, for this particular team to be so risk averse on offense since the bye week. But again, boy, if it didn't work, Nick Sirianni would be out on his ass. Which that was another interesting thing. He kind of fended off talk about an extension. Nick's going to get an extension, but if that didn't work, he would have been in deep shit because, you know, Jeffrey and Howie are like, man. But when you win, same as the players.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
When you win, nobody's going to complain. Nobody.
I just get the sense of the same thing you got when they fired Doug Peterson, where the front office and the owner and the GM believe that they're more responsible for the success than anybody else. And they have a big part. And I'm not trying to take that from them, but sometimes I don't like how they almost undermine, even if it's unintentionally, they undermine some of
they think highly of themselves is what I would describe it.
Yeah, but you can think highly of yourself and also understand that it takes a village. It takes multiple people. It takes
I do think they understand that. I do think they understand that. But at the end of the day, they have a firm belief. And so does Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni always talks about his culture. There's certain things he'll never change, blah, blah, blah. There's certain things Jeffrey and Howie believe that they are never going to change unless, you know, the game changes and then you're forced to move off. And I said, they can win 40-7 on Sunday. And I don't think they are, but they could blow out the Chiefs. And they still, I've said it consistently on this show, when they get on the field for a rookie minicamp, job number one, evolve the passing game.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. No, that's what they're going to try and do. Speaking of evolving the football team, John, let's move into a new topic, something that broke in the NFL world yesterday. Maybe the best player in football has officially requested a trade out of Cleveland, and that is none other than Myles Garrett. I view him as the best player in football. I don't think there's a guy on the planet more talented than he is when it comes to this game. That's just my personal opinion, but he requested trade out, John, and now many are speculating, will the Eagles make the move? They are tied for first in the betting markets. Not that that means that much, but
they're always tied for first.
I know they are, but listen, I could see Howie making this move, man.
Well,
I know it's going to require a lot, but think about that defensive line, John, with Jalen Carter and Myles Garrett. You have a window that's open for the Super Bowl right now. I'm going Les Snead. I'm saying, fuck them draft picks. I'm sending them to Cleveland. I'm bringing in Myles Garrett, and I'm going on a run. I'm going on a freaking run, baby.
You should get the Cooper Kupp as well. I'm joking. But that was a big thing yesterday as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the teams, and that's why I always joke with those betting market things. And if you do want to bet, go to Bet US. But you know, the Eagles are always at the top because of what I just said. You know, they're willing to do things like that. They're willing to take a risk. They're willing to give up things to get a player. And you're right, you know, a truly superstar. He's certainly in the conversation to be the best player in the world. And like I said, you can make arguments for a few, but it's probably, you know, one hand and Myles is on it. So that tells you all you need to know about how good he is. The problem becomes the Eagles are good. And if they do trade Myles Garrett, and they continue to say that they're not going to trade Myles Garrett, but Joe Banner tweeted out, it's like, it certainly seems there's a 50-50 chance because it seems calculated to do it at the Super Bowl. from both sides to see at least what they can get. So, you start thinking, what are you going to get? Well, it's certainly going to be a one, probably a two, couple threes, maybe a player on top of it. Two people have talked about two number ones. Just the way NFL teams hold on to draft picks, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's going to take a lot. And the problem with the Eagles is they're good.
Right.
And their first round pick is going to be 31st or 32nd.
So they're going to need maybe multiple of them.
Yeah. And, from Howie's standpoint, he's had a pretty good run over the past 3 years in the draft.
I would say better than really good.
He might say, he's got the wherewithal to say, are you getting Myles Garrett with 31 or 32? No. Are you getting Myles Garrett with maybe you're 27 or 28? Hopefully you're 31 or 32 again the next year. Who cares giving up those two picks if you can get that type of player? And you'll have to throw even more, as I said. But yeah, if you put Myles Garrett on the front with Jalen Carter,
God.
forget about it. Forget about it.
That's why I do it. I understand that you have the potential to get two players that could be here for a long time, but you're talking about a rare moment of a Super Bowl window that is open for the foreseeable future, just based on age of your roster and some of the guys you have in the room. And I don't know, I would make that move. Now I will play the other side of it. All right. I'll play the other side of it here. Eagles have been to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. They have the best defense in football that's been, as you mentioned, entirely rebuilt by draft picks. Are you going to send a ton of draft capital and pay Myles Garrett $40 million a year when you have to re-sign some of those young studs? That's the other side of it, where is it worth the business that you're going to have to maneuver to get to that outcome? I think it is, because I think Myles Garrett is one player that's worth it. Like if you said Max Crosby, I like Max. I don't know if I'd go too first and blow it all up and do that for him. I would do it for Myles
very
Garrett.
good player. Yeah, different stratosphere, I would say.
Yeah,
with Myles, but yeah, I mean they're one of the teams that will consider it. I will say that, but I don't think they're in a position to get them because of how good they are, and that means the draft capital. It's just not good
You're
enough.
thinking a team that's got a top 15 pick is going to go in there.
I would if I'm Cleveland and I'm giving up on this player, I want at least one top, at bare minimum top 20.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I would try to convince him to stay, number one. And sometimes these things get to the point where you just can't, and you gotta move on.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't sound like it's money related at all. I mean, he's not looking for a new contract. I mean,
and obviously he'd want to be in a position to win. So the Eagles the Eagles have everything except the draft capital because they're too good.
Got it. Yep.
And that to me would be the complication. But I would expect them to, because I also know how much they love Myles Garrett as a player.
Right.
Of course, that's probably 31.
And they do. I mean, it is worth noting too that Andrew Berry, the GM in Cleveland, was right.
Oh yeah, very close.
Tree.
Very close.
And they have a couple other players, don't they? Have that. What's that woman's name? Catherine Reich? Reich?
Yeah, she got married. I forget her new name, but yeah, when she was here, Cat Reich.
Okay, yeah. But I thought she was over there. So they have a bunch of former Eagles front office people.
Yeah. Now that could work in 2 different ways. Her Catherine Hickman is her married name, but when she was here, and she's the assistant GM with Cleveland. But anyway, that could also work to your disadvantage because nobody knows better than Andrew Berry and Cat that Howie's a shark, man.
Yeah, Howie will get you fired if you don't play.
Yeah, so that seems like an advantage, but it might not be an advantage if you get my drift. But I do know Andrew has tremendous respect for Howie Roseman. He's got it. he's got a quote on his board. At least he did. I mean, it's one of those whiteboards, but he kept it up forever. That in his office. That basically how he said, to win a Super Bowl, you got to make a move that might get you fired. And he was talking about that risk averse stuff again,
Right.
basically. That if it goes wrong, you're going to be in deep trouble. The problem is that's true for Andrew. It's not true for Howie. He can make mistakes. Again, Howie doesn't like that, but it's true.
You know, the other interesting part of this is if you're going to talk about the potential of trading your first pick, okay, or even multiple of those first picks, obviously Howie doesn't make that move without analyzing the board and looking at everything that he could do. Do you think Howie would be more enamored with, I'll trade some picks to move up and take an NFL, take a edge in the draft this year? Guys like Abdul Carter. Now, these guys aren't guaranteed. So that's more risky, but you might be able to send less, move up, get a rookie player on a rookie contract.
Well, I think
Abdul
Carter's going really
I don't think
high.
you're going to get the same impact, but
no, I know. I think Abdul Carter's going really high. I mean, maybe 2.
Yeah, well, top 10. I mean, you're talking about trading 2 first though for Garrett.
Yeah,
would you package those 2 first and move up to a top 10?
I don't think you could.
Okay.
And B, and I think he might go 2. He might go that high.
You think so? Yeah. I mean, he is that good in the draft.
I would certainly say right now,
not enamored with the quarterbacks this year.
I would certainly say top 5 at worst. He might go 2. I don't think we'll go 1 because of the panic, and Cam Ward will go 1. I think he might go 2. And yeah, I mean, I would much rather go the Myles Garrett road. No, you're not going to be able to trade 31 or 32 and another future first round pick to get to 2.
Yeah, no, not happening.
For an unproven, obviously tremendous upside, but what are the odds he turns into Myles Garrett? Very slim.
Very slim. 9. I think that's the only downside to him is how many years of pure dominance do you have left?
Well, you're talking about a Super Bowl window.
Right.
I mean, you're not talking about 10 years down the road.
No, you're talking about 2 to 3.
Yeah. So to me, yeah, no. I mean, if they stay put, they'll take the best edge rusher or defensive tackle on the board, I would bet right now. And we'll get to all that in the coming days and weeks after the Super Bowl. But I would bet heavily on the defensive front. But no, somebody asked Saquon last week before the Eagles left about if the Eagles had any interest in him when he was coming out. And he just kind of chuckled. He was like, well, and he just said it. And it's tough to say these things, but he's right. And he said, I was going to be a high draft pick. I mean, those questions were basically, we're not going to be able to get you.
Right.
The Eagles had tremendous interest in Saquon Barkley as a player, as evidenced now. But they had just come off the Super Bowl. They had the 32nd pick.
Yeah.
They're not spending their time with Saquon Barkley in that draft. And his 32 ended up being Lamar Jackson, by the way. But they traded down, and they should have. I mean,
that's right. We got Jalen Hurts, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and I'm not going to look at what everybody else has.
I'm surprised more people don't bring that up, but I'm glad they don't because, he wasn't even in the equation. Shouldn't have been in the equation for the Eagles, who ultimately traded down, then traded back up to get Dallas Goedert, which was a pretty good pick as well. So. But they were not in the realm of being able to get Saquon Barkley. So he kind of just chuckled at that and said, well, I mean, it's like this year, if you're picking 32nd, you're not thinking about Cam Ward. You're not thinking about Abdul Carter. You're not going to be able to get him.
Would you, John, make the move for Myles Garrett?
Me, yes, I would.
You'd go two first.
I don't give a flying flip about the 32nd pick. Now, it could turn into Lamar Jackson.
It could turn into Nolan Smith.
Could turn into Nolan Smith, which would be a very good pick at 32. Yeah. And it was a very good pick at 30 now, even though people tried to shit on it really quickly. And now it's turned into something pretty well as he heads into the Super Bowl. But, yeah, with all due respect to Nolan Smith, he ain't Myles Garrett. This is a special, special player.
Yeah.
This is the defensive version of Saquon Barkley. Maybe even better, I would say.
Well, I would say yes. And I know Eagles fans might not want to hear that, but I already said it this segment. I think Myles Garrett's the best football player on planet Earth.
Well, I don't. I mean, they don't want to hear it. That's why I said it like that. I mean, I don't even think it's fucking close. Yeah, he's you know, he's in the conversation for best football player on the planet. Saquon's the best running back on the planet. You know.
Can you picture Myles Garrett, Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith on that defensive line? What are you gonna do? Good. What are you gonna do?
You know, speaking of by the way, Josh Sweat changed agents.
Yeah, I saw that.
Rosenhaus,
which means he's probably gone, right?
I would think so. I mean, yeah, he's had a very good year, but he's going to get paid a lot of money, and you know, Eagles have some difficult decisions to make in this.
Well, what do you think Josh Sweat's going to get paid? Because I do agree, all right, that he has had a good year, but I mean, we just signed Bryce Huff for what was it, $17 million a year, and he had double-digit sacks, and he hasn't lived up to it at all. Now, I like Josh Sweat as a player, and I'm not saying he's going to be Bryce Huff, but he had 8 sacks this year. Like he wasn't like a perennial edge rusher. Like what? And how old is he?
Well, yeah, but he's got
knee injury. Like how much is he going to get?
He's got a much, much longer history of success. You know, since he became a starter in 2021, he's been a very good player. He's made the Pro Bowl. He's got like 33 sacks over that period. Yeah, I mean, he's a very good player. And, you know, to the point, it's, you know, the NFL's goofy because, like, you'll hear people say sacks don't matter like me, but then they pay him on sacks. Like, Josh had to take a pay cut last year because he had, I think he went from 11 sacks to 6.5. But his pressures went from like 45, 50, which is good, to like 70 something, which is really good. And this year, you know, again, he had 8 sacks and like 50 pressures. So he's back down. He was actually down in pressures from last year. But he'll get more money because he had more sacks. It's so stupid. This league is so stupid in some ways. Bottom line is, though, he's a really good player. He's on the open market. He's only 28 years old. You saw Bryce's up contract. I think it starts there, probably goes up.
What a bad contract that is, man.
17, 18 million a year, maybe.
Think they're going to move off him this year?
Price up? No.
I don't either. I don't see it, but
Howie was pretty. I don't know if you saw Howie's comments, but
no, I didn't.
He basically said, maybe I'm stubborn, but I believe in the player. Now that's
that's a load of Howie lip service. Come on, John.
Well, it's part of what are you going to do? You can't cut him.
Yeah, I get that.
You can't trade him.
That's just trying to maintain his value to some extent.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I agree with that part of it, but you know, it is what it is. So trying to look up Josh's market value per
Spot Track.
Yeah, is 18.8 million.
It's about what I was thinking. Yeah,
3 years, 56 million. A little bit less than Jonathan Grenard got last year, which makes sense. He's going to get a lot of money, and I don't think it's going to be here.
I don't either. I don't think him or Milton will be back.
Milton, I think they're more likely to bring back, but yeah, it's going to be difficult as well.
Well, even I think Moore or Joma might have changed their thought process on that a little bit because Moore. I mean, I'm not saying he's been Milton, but he's been solid. And
he's been very solid, but
no, he hasn't been Milton. That's not what I was saying.
If you hear Vic talk about him, he always talks about how undersized he is. I don't think he looks at him as a full-time player, more of that rotational guy as a change of pace because he's undersized. But he's getting bigger. You know, he's one of those guys who he's one of those guys that's gotten in the weight room and is getting bigger and bigger. So it's not like he can't get better, but every time you bring him up, Vic brings up how undersized he is. So I'm not gonna pencil him in to replace Milton Williams, but you know, Milton's made himself a lot of money trying to look up his market value, and it's actually lower than I thought. And maybe they'll update it. They only got him. I'll tell you what. And this is Spot Rack. 3 years, $36 million. He's back. If they can get him for that, he's back.
Yeah,
I don't think in a million years they can get him for that. I think they got that one wrong.
Boy, if you got him for that though, that would be great. I don't see it though.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, guys like Dalvin Tomlinson got paid. Forget about it. Alim McNeil's, who was, you know, the big story because of that was when Tom Donahoe wanted Alim McNeil and how we tried to high five him, and they took Milton Williams and Alim got different players. Alim McNeil's more of a run stuffer. I would say Milton's more of a pass rusher. But Alim McNeil got 4 years, $97 million, $24.2 million a year. And you're telling me you're getting Milton Williams for $12 million?
Yeah,
maybe 16, maybe 17, 12? Well, if they can get him for 12, he's back.
I don't think so. I was thinking more 15 plus.
Well, I'm just using the Spot Rack numbers. I normally they're pretty good. That one doesn't strike me as a good valuation.
John, one other thing I wanted to hit on. Did you see Jeff Stoutland talking about Mekhi Becton to guard and his comment on that?
I did not.
So Jeff Stoutland was asked about moving Mekhi Becton to guard.
I've talked to him about that many times. But
he said, if you look across the league, there's not many in the history who have been effective guards standing at 6'7" and his size.
I can't come up with one.
I can't either. Now, he went as far as to say back in OTAs, Coach Sirianni recommended to him to try Becton out at guard for a few practices, and that was the start of it. That's what Jeff Stoutland said last night.
Nick's doing something. All right. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty cool to hear the greatest O-line coach maybe in the history of the league say that, you know, and take advice from your head coach, and look at how well it's worked out.
Yeah. I mean, boy, it doesn't make sense. You know, even, you know, we talked about just the ability for the quarterback to see. Mekhi Becton blocks out the sun. But boy, it's worked, and it's worked so well, especially in the running game, to have that kind of power and that ability to just move people. And I think that was the final piece of the puzzle of, I call this, somehow they've gotten better on the offensive line after losing a Hall of Famer and a 6-time All-Pro and Jason Kelsey. And it's not that Cam Jurgens is better than Jason, because he's not. He's a very good player, but he's not better than Jason. It's because of how good Mekhi Becton has handled the right guard. And the second part would be just Jordan Mailata keep getting better and better and better and better. It's ridiculous how good he's become. But Mekhi's a big part of it, and to the point where a couple reporters would say, Tyler Steen's going to get that job back. And I'm like, no, he's not. Maybe when Mekhi leaves. And, it's going to be very difficult to keep him, I would think. Another guy. But yeah, he's been a great story. And that again speaks to the contingency aspect of Howie Roseman, because he signed. They were very intent on getting one of those guys with guard tackle versatility in the first round of the draft. There were a bunch of them, and the Eagles thought one of them would fall to 20. And it ended up Troy Patano was the last one to go at 20. 20. The Eagles were at 22. Patano was the last one to go at 20, and then they shifted towards Quinyon Mitchell. And right after the draft, they drafted Mekhi. They signed Mekhi Becton. That was his contingency in his back pocket. They did want Fatano, but that was his contingency in the back pocket. And it's turned out to be a great contingency. And obviously Quinyon's had the great rookie season. So, but that kind of tells you there's 31 other teams. You're never going to get what you want. Never, or very rarely. And you gotta be depth on your feet and have a bunch of plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. That's where Howie sets himself apart from most other GMs.
John, I'm going to ask you to do an exercise here. All right. There's going to be 2 lists, and there's going to be 4 names on each list. It's the same 4 names for both lists. I want to hear what John McMullen would do, and then I want to hear what John McMullen believes the Eagles will do. All right. You got Mekhi Becton, you got Milton Williams, you got Zach Bond, and you got Josh Sweat. I think those are the 4 biggest free agents this year. Am I missing anybody?
No, that's the big 4.
That's the big 4. All right. John McMullen's list will be your priority and who you want to get done and who you would let walk, and then what you believe the Eagles will do with those 4 players.
I would bring Milton back 1, Zach back 2. 3 would be Mekhi. 4 would be Josh Sweat. And the Eagles, I think, will try to bring back 2, Zach Bond and Milt Williams, and probably lose 2 would be.
That's what I was thinking. The tricky part about Becton, John, is you have so much faith in what Jeff Stoutland has done with so much change on that offensive line at times. And, do you look at Becton and say, we love having you, but I feel better about replacing you than I do about replacing Milton Williams or Zach Bond?
Well, I think most of it has to do with the market. And I think someone will look at the season that he had and say, we're going to make him a tackle again, number 1. So they're going to offer more money. Now, if Mekhi, I think they're going to keep 2 of the 4. So again, when we talk about contingencies, because Mekhi came here to work under Jeff Stoutland. So if he's got it in his mind that I just want to keep working with Jeff and he's willing to take a little bit less money to stay at guard, or he's got a problematic knee. So maybe some other teams tap out because of that and say, we can't give this guy super money because he's probably going to get hurt. So all of these things get factor into it to lower the price a little bit.
Yeah. My question as another team would be, how effective are you going to be, without the Eagles organization?
But other teams are just more like there's 32 teams, probably 10 of them are smart. I might be overshooting that, to be honest. and most of them are like, oh, he's a good player, so we're gonna plug him in, and he's gonna be a good player. It's really that simple. It's real, and no matter how many times they fail, they still think the same way. Oh, he's good in Philadelphia, so he's going to be good here. Or he's good somewhere else, and he's going to be good here. And they use him, they don't use him correctly, and all that kind of stuff. But they don't think that way. A lot of dumb teams.
Good stuff there. Well, plenty to talk about all off season. As you can see, they still got a bunch of stuff going on there, a bunch of stuff. I see Q the God brings up a good question as well. What about corner? What are we doing at corner? Will Slade be done? Will they roll up Ringo? It's a good question, Q the God. We'll have all off season to break it all down and discuss it all. But I did think, hey, John, I'm proud of us. I think we extracted the value from media night the best we could. And we talked about the relevant stuff, and we left the bullshit to the side, Johnny Mac. Well done.
Yeah. Well, what is my favorite color? I'm going to go. I don't have a favorite color.
No, you don't have a favorite color? I don't really either. I mean,
if somebody asked me, I go, I don't give a shit. Whether colors are colors.
I actually really like the color green, but if I say that, I'm just going to sound like an Eagle guy. But I do really like the color green. I've always liked the color green, and I've always liked the color
navy
red.
blue. How's that?
Navy blue.
Like navy blue.
Great color. I like
navy blue. A lot. I'll go navy blue. Jameis Winston.
I'll
go navy blue, Jameis.
There you go. Keith Johnson says black. Wow. Green. Twiz goes green.
Yeah.
John looks like a magenta man.
Magenta?
All right, there you go. And then what was the other goofy ass question that I saw going around on my somebody asked Jalen, some little kid, it sounded like, asked Jalen Hurts how to get more handsome. I was cracking up with them. Like, what you made Jalen Hurts fly to New Orleans a week early.
Yeah, he handled that pretty well.
How to get more handsome. I was cracking up.
He said it's a DNA thing.
It's
so
DNA
he handled
thing,
that pretty well.
Which is a hilarious response, by the way.
Good response, but yeah, dumb question, good response.
Yeah, funny stuff there. Good stuff, John. We appreciate everybody for being here in the chat. We're going to talk to Chris Franklin in hour number 2 today, so we'll talk to him in a little bit. I do want to dive into this game again with the Birds, and we're 5 days out. We're inching closer to the game. Obviously, I wanted to recap what happened last night with media night and the whole Myles Garrett shenanigans, just because I do believe that the Eagles are going to make some calls about that. So we will see about that. Let's get to a couple super chats here, Johnny Mac. Bird Gang checks in. John, if you decide to be a tourist down in NOLA, be sure to keep everything in the front pockets. Pickpocket capital of the country. Stay safe, Johnny Mac. Well, good advice there.
Well, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm already above. I'm ahead of the curve. Always front pocket. I've traveled too much in my life. Yeah, you go anywhere these days. Not New Orleans, anywhere else. But yeah, I'm with you. Got to be careful.
Dirty. Yep, I agree. Bird Gang, thank brother. Dirty D checks in. If we get Garrett, I think we lose Bond.
Well, I mean, it depends on the timing,
Who would you rather have if you could only have one? Garrett or Bond?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. I don't want to go back to linebacker.
Zach
is so fun watching a defense with linebackers.
Yeah, that's where we are. I get the Eagles into the Super Bowl, but come on, that can't be a talking point. I mean, Zach's a great story, great season, great everything, great. Smallest fucking carry. Come on.
I know. I just don't want to go back to shitty ass linebackers, John. I don't think Howie does either, by the way. M. Martin checks in. What's up, M. Martin? John, I think Golden was talking about after being traded there, how surprisingly dysfunctional the 2018 Eagles were after winning a Super Bowl. Wentz alienating himself and even Deuce fighting with a player. Yeah, someone sent me that.
I think, Golden once was it Golden? It might have been Golden.
Golden Tate. I'm not a fan of him.
I think he got in a fight with the Seahawks. Might have been with Percy Harvin. I don't know. I think I recall. But guys, people don't get along. It's just, and I get it because NFL teams always like to project themselves in the Eagles, especially because of Nick Sirianni, this phenomenal culture. Look, you get the next 70 people and they're not all going to like each other.
Yeah, but isn't there varying degrees there? Like you have two teams that are back in the Super Bowl again, and don't you think some element of that has to be culture related? I'm not saying you're wrong in the sense that you're not going to have 70 guys that are all buddy in group chats, texted, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? Hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to get drinks with our wife?" What I get that. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. But don't you think there's some element of culture that has to be applied to,
Well,
a
here's all
team?
here's all I'm saying. And I just brought it up because I was correct, and I covered that Super Bowl. So Percy Harvin punched Golden Tate before the Super Bowl, and it had a black eye. They won they destroyed Denver. They won the Super Bowl. I mean, well, I'm not saying there have been many fights in the NFL, many fights. The fact that somebody's screaming, who's the other? Chris Boyd pushed his special teams coach on the field for Houston. Position coaches get in fights with players, hopefully just verbal, all the time. All the time. Again, somebody might wake up and have a bad day because they're arguing with their wife or their girlfriend or whatever, or somebody stole their car like CJ Gardner Johnson or whatever, and have a bad day and get in a fight, a verbal fight with somebody. Who gives a shit? Does it affect the team? 99% of these things you never hear about. Sometimes you hear about them because now everybody in the world's got a podcast. And some of them talk about it, some of them don't. You know, Richie Incognito back in the day bullying Jonathan Martin.
What a name, Richie Incognito.
I mean, this nonsense of, and I get everything's kumbaya in Philadelphia right now, and they all get along and they're all best friends. It's not the case. Are they all working together for a common goal? You don't need to. I think everybody can relate it to their own life, and that if they have a workplace, and not everybody fucking likes everybody,
Yeah.
or you can work together, and you can be you can be professional, and you can accomplish goals. Earlier, you've heard so many times, this guy doesn't like this guy. AJ's not the same type of relationship with Jalen Hurts. That came from Brandon Graham. Shouldn't even be talking about that. Doesn't even fucking matter, to be honest. Who cares? Not everybody is going to get along with adults. Unfortunately, I wish they could. But I think everybody can look inward if they pay too much attention to that stuff and understand that, and look at their own lives and say, yeah, you know what? So-and-so at work doesn't like so-and-so, and they manage to coexist. There are other teams where, it does destroy them, as it did arguably with Carson Wentz. And then it becomes self-evident. But the kumbaya stuff is not realistic, is all I'm trying to say.
That makes sense. That makes sense there. Good stuff, Johnny Mac. RMP checks in. What's up, brother? I live in Cleveland. The Browns organization is gearing up to get a new stadium built and open by 2029.
Yep. Whatever they call that. I think they call that Cleveland Browns Stadium now because they lost Burst Energy, whatever. But they're going to build a new stadium out there, and I'm sure they'll be looking to get a Super Bowl. But it's very hard for northern cities to get a Super Bowl. You have to have a dome, and they would prefer a nice weather city because of the logistics and what can happen. So, but Philadelphia, they won a Super Bowl, and they probably get one if they build a dome. I think 2031 is the lease to Lincoln Financial Field. So I think eventually you're going to see a dome in Philadelphia.
Yeah, not my favorite thing in the world, but I understand where Jeffrey's. It's a tough business thing, right? I mean, you can improve awareness and revenue and all sorts of different things with different events that you could hold if you have a dome, but boy, I do not want to lose our outside advantage.
Well, think about the 3 NFC championship games, 38-7, 31-7. 55-23.
I know. Is that the same with the Dome?
Probably not.
No
Probably
way.
not.
No way. No freaking way. All right, good stuff there, Johnny Mac. Appreciate everybody checking in. We'll get to our first commercial break. Again, I think we wrapped up media night pretty good. We gave you guys the most important stuff, and there was not a lot of important stuff. Okay, there was a lot of dumb stuff at media night last night. Almost to the point where I was like, "What did I really just hear that?" Be asked, but that's how it goes. So, I didn't see what anything Kellen Moore had to say. You didn't catch anything from Kellen, did you?
Yeah, he obviously all the Saints reporters flocked to him because it's the worst kept secret in the NFL. He's going to be the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, he was Kellen Moore. He handled it. He deflected it. And mentioned he's completely focused on the game, which I do believe. And then after the game, he will become shortly thereafter the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. And I'm glad to see finally some of the national people, Schefter talking about it, Mike Garafolo talking about it, Kevin Petula, strong candidate. Which, if you're watching Birds 365, you'd already know that.
I saw the name Kevin Petullo floating around yesterday, and I'm like, I've heard that one before. Johnny Mac told me get ready for that. So another feather in the McMullen cap. One other thing, John, that happened yesterday media night that I absolutely loved, which might not mean much, but I still loved it anyway. A.J. Brown mentioned that Fletcher Cox texted him, and he said, no matter what you've done up until this point, it doesn't matter. It's all about what happens on Sunday. And I needed to see that, is what A.J. Brown said about the Fletcher Cox text. And I love that because I said, you can have 5,000 passing yards. You can be the greatest defense since sliced bread. You can have the greatest running game in the world. If you don't do it in one game in a 60-minute time frame,
nobody cares
it's all
about
for naught.
place.
It doesn't mean a damn thing. So go out there, be the number one defense, beat the best running team in the NFL. Do what you got to do to win this football game. I thought that was nice that Fletcher Cox said that to A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree in that fact. I think it's an accomplishment to get to this point, but I also acknowledge that I'm in a very small club. Nobody cares about second place outside of, the people who know what it takes to get to this position, know what it takes to be NFC champions, understand it's an accomplishment. But if you don't win, everybody shits on you. Bottom line.
Well, he's not wrong.
It's a Ricky Bobby society. I've said it for many years since that movie came out.
Yeah, but that's what it's about, John. I
You're not first, you're last.
I understand what you're saying, that having sustained success is important and hard to do, and it's not only quantified by one thing. I understand that line of thinking. But in a way, it is, dude. I mean, in a way, it is.
Well, I will remind everybody who's a fan of that movie, and you should be a fan of that movie because it's tremendously funny. But
would it surprise you if I told you I wasn't a Will Ferrell guy?
It surprises me. Everybody. Reuben Frank told me you didn't know who Will Ferrell is. First of all, I don't believe him.
I don't believe him either. I don't
believe him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got something wrong with you if you're not a Will Ferrell guy.
I don't find him funny
I digress.
But I got something wrong.
For people that do watch the movie, that have seen the movie, I'll remind them, Ricky Bobby, who was Will Ferrell, his father is the one who said when he was young, if you're not first, you're last. His father was a degenerate drunk. And later in the movie, he goes, what the hell are you talking about? There's first, there's second, there's fifth, there's sixth. Yeah, there's more than that. But so I find it ironic in the same movie. They went back and said, no, I'm full of shit. But yeah, the reality is that nobody cares about second place. The vast majority of people. And you saw it, you've already seen it in Philadelphia. Super Bowl 57. Didn't matter. 38-35 on the biggest stage. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell guy, but good stuff there, Johnny Mac. I appreciate the analogy. Miz checks in. There was a couple movies I liked Will in. This guy brings up a good one. Step Brothers classic. That was a funny movie. I'll give you that.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, that
The
was a
sports trilogy. You have Blades of Glory, figure skating. You have Bout of Ricky Bobby, which is auto racing, and then the basketball one, which is underrated, with the Flint Tropics. I forget the actual name of that one, but the Flint Tropics in the
I
old
remember
Navy.
that. People used to wear that costume to school on Halloween.
The Flint Tropics.
What's that movie called?
I forget the name of it, but
I never seen it, but I know it. Semi-Pro. That's what it is.
Semi-Pro.
Yeah. There you go. Semi-Pro. Everybody
Which was
got
a goofy name because it was based on the ABA, which was not semi-pro. It was professional basketball, but yeah, so it was a goofy name.
It appears we got a lot of Will Ferrell fans in the chat.
Well, I mean, you're going to lose that battle. Yeah, I mean, you're going to lose that battle.
Yeah,
I would say of the best of so you have Ballad of Ricky Bobby, Blades of Glory, semi-pro. I would say the best of them all, though, is actually Blades of Glory, which is a hilarious movie. Hilarious movie.
There you go, John. We're gonna make a list of movies that I have to watch in the off season. Well, I was trying to think of the one you told me the other day that I had to watch. What was it? Do you remember?
I don't.
I don't remember either. I was like, I don't know. Why am I watching it anyway? Miz says Myles Garrett is the Kevin Garnett of the NFL. I don't even know what he's trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but Kevin Garnett was great. But I would say, Myles is better in his sport than Kevin Garnett was in his sport, and Kevin was pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
I would say.
Sasha R checks in. What's up, Sasha? Jay Uso and crappy John Cena elimination. Worse than a possible LA Rams and Commanders NFC Championship. Go Birds. There you go. Your first wrestling reference of the day.
Yeah, big surprise. Jay Uso won the Royal Rumble, knocked out John Cena to win it, who was the favorite. I mentioned I would have put John Cena over to get to where they're going to go, but Jay's, man, it's because Zander's not a wrestling guy, but there's this whole weirdo online wrestling community, and they shit on it like you would not believe. But the 70,000 people there were losing their minds, and the people last night were losing their minds. And I'm like, that niche hardcore weirdo group, they don't get the goal. The goal is to keep people entertained, sell tickets, get viewers. And the guy's very popular right now.
Yeah, interesting. I think what's his name? I will say from the outside, it looks like Triple H has done a pretty good job taking over.
Oh yeah, he's done a great job.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Low bar.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I know.
Well, not from a Vince, not from a business standpoint, but Vince.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about strictly business, but you're right in terms of morality and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, very low bar.
Well, even I'm not even talking about the morality stuff, the creative stuff, which is big in wrestling. Vince is like 80 years old. He's almost 80. He's fucking. I mean, yeah, the game has passed him by, as they say. And I'm old. I'm not an ageism guy, but there's a difference between 66 like Andy Reid and 80. At 80, I'm going to guarantee the game will have passed Andy Reid by. At some point, you lose your cognitive ability. We just saw the president for puppeting around for how many years? At some point, it gets us all. We got Vince.
Don't get me in trouble bringing up that guy. Marcus Padilla says, J-Mac, don't you think Becton would want to stay considering he almost quit football and the Eagles helped him find his love of the game again?
I think he wants a big check like everybody else.
Marcus, that's all great and fine and dandy, brother. But when someone puts $20 million in your face, you don't say, sorry, I love football too much to take this deal. I don't think it happens, Marcus. I hear you, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think Becton's going to get paid?
Well, like I said, he's got some chronic knee problems that could push it down. But But I do think it's such an offensive line deficient league, which I think people in Philadelphia don't realize because their offensive line has been so good for so long.
It's deeper than that. Our offensive line has depth. We lose guys on the offensive line and still dominate the trenches, John.
Yeah, I mean, well,
we're spoiled. I'm admitting we are spoiled.
Philadelphia's definitely spoiled,
with
and definitely
offensive linemen.
Definitely spoiled on the offensive line. But there is a big difference when Fred Johnson was in for Jordan Mailata or Tyler Steen was in for Landon Dickerson or Mekhi Becton. There is a big difference. But what they're able to do is persevere because you're not losing all those guys at once. You still have, if when Jordan was out, you still have Lane and Landon and Mekhi and Cam, and you're able to persevere with Fred Johnson. And the same thing when Tyler Steen was out there. So there is a big drop off from the top 5 to the depth, but it's better than everybody else is how I describe it.
Good stuff there, Marcus. Appreciate you checking in. Appreciate everybody checking in. Don't forget to hit that like button. 5 days away. All right. I can feel it. It's becoming palpable. I can feel it in the air. 5 days out from the Super Bowl 59. Should be a good rematch. The only part about last night where I noticed a complete difference in the guy standing next to the other guy was when Andy Reid was up on the stage next to Nick Sirianni. I think Andy Reid is built for these moments, man. Brian Pumper checks in. Becton is gone. We're not about to pay all 5 guys on the line $20 million. These fanboys don't think with logic, but with emotions.
Well, I do think the thought of, maybe he loves, Stoutland.
Yeah,
and he does love Stoutland. He does love that the Eagles gave him a chance. He was emotional when they won NFC East because he was with such a crappy organization for a while. But at the end of the day, if the money is somewhat equal, maybe you say, all right, I'd rather be with the Eagles than the Jets. But we're talking about 13 versus 12 million. If it's 20 million versus 10 million, they're signing for 20 million. Now, Mekhi Becton isn't getting that. And I'm talking average annual value. It's going to be interesting. Because, again, there's a lot of things with Mekhi injury-wise that might concern other teams when the medical people get involved. So, and it might even concern the Eagles, to be honest, when it comes to a long-term contract. So it's going to be interesting to see what his market value is. And I'll look it up real quick, what they have it at. 4 years, 40 million. So 10 million a year. Not bad. Could they do it? Yeah. Do you really want to go 4 years with that kind of, you're talking about a guy who blocks out the sun, 380 pounds, who's got a bad knee. I don't think the Eagles would be willing to go 4 years. Would somebody else? Probably, because they're more desperate.
We'll see how it all shakes out there on 7 years. I'm going to ask everybody. All right, everybody should get this answer. John, you should get it too, but give me a second. On this day, 7 years ago, what happened, everybody? What happened on this day 7 years ago? John, you should easily get this.
I don't fucking know. What a Super Bowl? I don't know.
Won the Super Bowl. Philly. You want Philly, and we won the Super Bowl.
I don't know the date.
It just popped up on my feed.
That means a lot. That means a lot to Eagles fans, I imagine. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, look, 52. It's our anniversary. 41-33, 52. Let's go.
It ain't my anniversary.
No,
yeah, I'm not paying attention. Unfortunately, I'll forget my anniversary, but yeah, it ain't my anniversary.
All right, we're going to have Chris Franklin coming up, and I was going to take a break now, but I don't want to double break before Chris. So I'm going to say this last thing. All right, the one other thing I forgot to mention that stuck out to me from last night was Jeffrey Lurie. And you mentioned him talking about the contract, but specifically the comment he talked about with Nick Sirianni, where he used
weakness.
It's one of his strengths, and at times it's one of his weaknesses. I'm like, oh, great. Nothing like your boss going out to the public world the 5 days before the biggest game of your life and alerting them all to what your weaknesses are as a head coach. I mean, are you fucking kidding me, Lurie? What a stupid comment to make in that moment. And I don't care if he's listening to the show. That's a dumb ass comment to make 5 days before a Super Bowl. That's my opinion.
Well, I don't think you can have your opinion. I thought it was dumb as well. Yeah, no need for it on that platform. But one thing about Jeffrey, he loves to talk when he does talk. I mean, he will go on and on and on and on. And when you do that, you tend to have a stream of consciousness when he talks. And it's nice to be honest, but you got to be more disciplined in that type of environment, I would say. That's not the time to talk about the weaknesses of your head coach, but that's the way he is. He's very, he's a stream man. One of the underrated reports of Nick Sirianni's famous opening press conference on Zoom that was looked upon so poorly by everyone and people making jokes about him. One of the underreported issues with that was that Jeffrey Lurie wouldn't shut the fuck up. He spoke for like 30 minutes and Nick sitting up on the side and, no people there, Zoom, weird environment. And he shit the bed. Jeffrey was a big part of that. It was like, dude, wrap it up. It's like an Oscar speech where you got to play them off.
Yes. I could so picture that.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's a stream of consciousness guy. And that's what he believes. So he's telling the truth and he's right, probably, to be honest, but yeah, not the time to say it.
Good stuff there. One more super chat here. Sasha, thank you, Sasha. I believe as long as we have Jeff Stalin, I'm never worried about play level at O-line. Jeff makes average players
play
at Pro Bowl level unless your
doesn't.
name is Andre Dillard. Do you agree?
No. And Jeff Stalin wouldn't agree. Yeah, no. He doesn't make average players Pro Bowl players. He makes really talented guys. They coaches, and Stout is one of the best ever. Coaches, the goal is to make them a little bit better than where they can get on their own. And he does it better than just about everybody else. But you can't, and is sort of, crown jewel is Jordan Mailata because he took a guy who never played football and turned him into maybe the best left tackle in the game. And that's an amazing story, and books will be written about it, and they should be. But man, there are a few people on this planet who are 6'8" and 380 pounds and can move like Jordan Mailata with the strength of Jordan Mailata.
Right.
You can't bring some schlub average player and turn him into Jordan Mailata. Now, there's a lot of people that would have failed. I would say more position coaches would have failed with Jordan than anybody else. But that was the best piece of clay anybody's ever gotten. Lane Johnson, just a ridiculous athlete. Again, 6'6", 330, whatever he is. Landon Dickerson. These are big-time players. Big-time. Mekhi Becton was the 11th pick in the draft. From a physical standpoint, outrageous. And as you mentioned, Andre Dillard had tremendous physical gifts, but he wasn't able to turn him into what he was expected to be.
Nobody could say
nobody turns average players into Pro Bowl players. Maybe average players into good players for a year. Maybe. I mean, you gotta have real physical gifts to get to the Pro Bowl, real Pro Bowl, not like the sixth alternate, or better indicated all pro level. I mean, average players don't get to the all pro level.
That's fair. That's fair. I do think he's extracting the absolute most you can out of most.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's the goal. The goal of position coaches is to make guys
I mean, look, this is a talent-driven league, though. You can't. I mean, like John said, you can't take a guy that doesn't have inherent talent and make him hang with some of the best defensive linemen in the league. No doubt about it. All right, John, good stuff. Let's get to our commercial break. We're gonna have Chris Franklin joining the show now. So I make sure to send him the link. Yep, he's all good with the link and everything. So we'll talk to Chris Franklin coming up next here on Birds 365. I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here right now. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right, 5 days out from the Super Bowl. Media night is wrapped up. What else is on the agenda this week, Johnny Mac, for this? Anything tonight? Anything public tonight for this team?
Well, everything's not public from the standpoint of just the typical everybody down there doing shows. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs and Eagles players will meet more of a sort of, how shall I say, substantive way with reporters this morning. Chiefs are probably already started. They're going first. And the Eagles. So you're going to hear stuff come out all day today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Then you're going to have Hall of Fame later in the week, NFL honors later in the week. But it's a circus. The whole week's a circus. It's constant shows, whatever your favorite platform is, NFL Network, Fox, ESPN. All round the clock, basically.
Good stuff. Enjoy it, everybody. Eagles are back. Second time in 3 years. We're in rarefied air in terms of appearances here in the Super Bowl. So let's see if they can get over the hump this weekend. We'll get to our first commercial break. Let me tell you guys about the great people at BetUS. Before I do that, you can see the promo code on your screen. Who's betting on the big game? Are you taking Saquon? You taking AJ? Is it Devontae? Devontae Smith is averaging, I think I saw a stat, he's averaging over 100 yards per game in 3 games versus the Chiefs. So he's been a little bit of a Chiefs killer. You guys remember the big catch he had in Super Bowl 57. He also had a big catch in 57 that got wiped off the board. So who you taking over here in the props for the Super Bowl? We will see what happens there. You can see the promo code I put on your screen. It's YouTube 150. Gives you a 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit. You get 125% on your second and third deposit, all up to $2,000. So deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. We'll be back in 3 minutes, everybody, on Birds 365.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to a Tuesday edition of Birds 365. Just 5 days away from Super Bowl 59. Joined now by Chris Franklin from NJ.com. Chris, welcome to the show, man. How you doing on this Tuesday morning?
Not too bad, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well, Chris. I'm going to hit you with the hard-hitting stuff right off the bat. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Super Bowl opening nights, I guess they call it now. Your favorite color, the important stuff.
Well, I know I should say green, but I don't know. It's like that is one for but I don't know, something about navy blue. I don't know what it is about it.
Navy blue. That's what I went with. Navy blue. That's smart man. Smart man.
You think alike, yeah. That's a and now I've been accused before because I wear so much. Oh, you're a Cowboys fan. I'm not no, I'm not that. No. It's just I just like the color.
Yeah,
I go with that.
Chris, it didn't stick out to you yesterday, man. It's media day. There's a lot of dumb stuff. Jalen Hurts answering questions on being handsome, colors. A lot of not so good stuff. But I did think Jeffrey Lurie gave us some interesting stuff. What did you take away? Anything stick out to you from yesterday's opening day media conference, whatever you call it?
I'm sorry. From a reporter standpoint, I would love to see Jameis Winston here in Philadelphia. I think that was just worth it to see, like just to get that. But overall, I thought the extensions. I saw the news about the Howie's explanations about extensions, not wanting to give them during the season. I saw that. I looked at the when you look at the way that you hear the updates of Cam Jurgens not really talking about it, his back, but his head party says like, yeah, I'm standing here. It looks like I'm good. So I thought that was a key thing, especially knowing you had to go against Chris Jones across from you, and then Landon Dickerson as well too. So the injury things, I think for me were the biggest takeaways in terms of that one too. Sure, you had the other stuff that was going around there, some of the ancillary stuff, but yeah, I think those seeing your 2 key offensive linemen, knowing what they're going to have to face Sunday, yeah, it sounds like it's trending better. So.
Yeah, they had that goopy estimated injury reports on Friday of last week, Chris, and they didn't even put them on there. So it was that means if they had a game on Sunday, which they didn't, I have no idea why the NFL makes them do this, but they have to put out an injury report, and they weren't even questionable for if they had to play last Sunday. So to me, there's no doubt they're going to play Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson. It's just about how effective you're going to be against a pretty good defensive front. That's the question. And we're probably not going to know that until game day, right?
Right. Yeah. It's almost like you got to worry about almost a Jason Peters plan per se. Because remember Jason Peters, he would go out there, and he'd start, and you go there, but then you'd be a series or 2 without him because he was dealing with something, whatever was nagging him at the time, and then you had your backup. So it's almost like you got to have Tyler Steen going, listen, you did it last week. Be ready just in case you have to come in here and play as well too. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens where say, hey, something's nicked up where Landon says, like, no, I need a series or whatever, get right, and then you see Steen there. So they're gonna have to have a contingency, I think, for that potential to happen.
Chris, we're gonna get into the Super Bowl game. Obviously, I'll get your matchups, your takeaways, and some things you're watching. But I do want to ask you, Myles Garrett has hit the trading block. Will the Philadelphia Eagles make that move and go and get that player? Imagine, Chris, for a second, Jalen Carter and Myles Garrett on the same defensive line. I'm going full Les Snead, Chris. F them
Low
picks.
six.
Get out of here. Give me Myles Garrett on this defense, and let's go contend for a Super Bowl for a few years. What does Chris Franklin think about the Eagles trading for Myles Garrett?
On paper, it makes a lot of sense because you look at the fact that where you're going to be picking. You're picking. You're hopefully if you're Eagles picking
32nd,
32nd.
hopefully.
Yeah. And then also you got next year's first round pick. And then you got to think about the extension that you're probably going to have to get him when he comes here as well too. That being said, I do it because I look at the way I think you have this window. You look at you got Noah Smith developing. There's a lot of uncertainty now with Josh Sweat because he's going to get paid. You look at the sacks and everything else. I'd like it back, but I think somebody's going to try to sign him as well too. And at least that you got the defensive player of the year, a former defensive player of the year on your roster, and you present that same problem that you gave offenses when you had Hassan Reddick here, but even better. So I look at all those factors. The thing that I'm worried about is with Cleveland, they're going to somebody's going to offer the same thing, 2 first-rounders, what have you. Yeah, I don't know, like something they're going to be better.
Well, to me, that's the problem, Chris. The Eagles are going to be drafting 31st or 32nd, so
they're a sweetener.
Draft capital that they can send, even if you start thinking about 2026. Well, the Eagles are still going to be good. Maybe it's not 32 or 31, but maybe it's 27 or 28. Their draft capital isn't as good as some other teams that are going to want Myles Garrett. So that to me is the complication. But man, yeah, that'd be a home run. It's definitely the Eagles will explore it. I mean, that's Howie's nature. We do have a Super Bowl. I wish we wouldn't have to start my favorite time of year, which is, so-and-so's available. And then you get all these aggregators jumping to write the story. And the Eagles. I always say, and the Eagles. Who's interested? And the Eagles. And everybody's comfortable doing that because Howie calls about everybody. So, and he's very upfront about that. So obviously they're going to look into it. Is it realistic? I don't know if it's realistic, but I'll tell you, Myles Garrett with Jalen Carter. Woo.
Imagine the stunts they pull. Oh my goodness. That one too. It's fun to think about because then you think you can't slide the line. You got bullet after bullet after bullet coming at you in terms of like the pass rush. That's just not fair. I mean, even I forget the Giants player's name, but yeah, even he's like, I think we're see them playing had to play against them twice a week. One of their offensive tackles. Like just the fear, something like the mental game that you would have going against some of these teams heading in before a week on. You gotta face Myles Garrett and Jalen Carter. Oh boy. That's one of those things. But it was nice to get. I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, Myles Garrett has a great relationship with Lane Johnson during my life. We've seen them out there when they're talking, when they had those joint practices and talking over time and have you, but I think it's tough to do it. I do it personally. Maybe that's why I'm not a GM because I feel like, oh yeah, what do you want? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, me, Chris. I'm with you, man. That's a guy I'm going for. All right, I will do it because I think he would change what this team is capable. They're the number one defense. They would be the number one defense and more if they got him. So no doubt about it. Chris, matchups in this game, man. What do you think coming into this game? And I'll ask you this. Who has the most pressure in this game? Chiefs are trying to three-peat. Eagles are trying to get over the hump with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Where does the pressure lie coming into this game?
I think the pressure is more on the Chiefs just because of the history aspect. Because everybody's talking about them. Everybody knows about them. If you heard the Roger Goodell press conference, everybody's talking about the perceived bias or whatever. So in terms of officials. So you got all that with them, all the folks on the Chiefs, and especially that pursuit of history and the three-peat. And so I think the Eagles are playing with I don't want to say house money, but I think they're coming in with a lot less pressure on them because everybody just knows, like, okay, yeah, they're here. They've been here before a couple of years ago. They're familiar and they played them tough. So I think the Chiefs were have a lot more pressure. Now, in terms of matchups, I look at the way that there's a couple matchups I'm looking at. Andy Reid's going to try to get some of these guys in motion. And I'm looking not so much Kareem Hunt in that one, but Isaiah Pacheco in that flat. And they try to match them up against either Zach Vaughn or Oren Burks, just trying to get them separate on that. And then another one I'm looking at is, especially after what Zach Ertz did to the and the Commanders did to the Eagles defense, in terms of that, how they're going to try the same thing with Travis Kelce in the middle. So either if it's the linebackers, if it's the safeties, what have you, depending on whatever coverage you're using and personnel packets are in the game, whenever they have to rotate down on that, will they be patient enough to stop them? Will they be able to stop them in times of pressure situations like third and fourth downs if they go for it? And then also when you look at the terms of, will they be able to stop him and wrap him up and not allow him to get those yards after the catch as well too? Because I think they can make them methodically go down the field. I don't think they're going to give up the explosive play, but you got to watch it out just in case as well too, and not let him give them extra opportunities to gain yards after catch.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this game and I think it's going to be a close game, Chris. I haven't sort of decided who I'm going to pick, but one thing I can't see, if everything goes correctly, I could see the Eagles blowing out the Chiefs. I can't see the Chiefs blowing out the Eagles because of what you just said. Big A is going to limit explosive plays. That's what he does. But B, the Chiefs don't even play to generate explosive plays anymore. They're a very methodical team. They've scored 30 points twice this season. That's it. And I think it was 30 on the dot. This is not an explosive offense. I think people think Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. There's no Tyreek Hill, obviously. They're not what they once were offensively. They play a different style of football. By nature, that should keep the Eagles in the game, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so too. The only player I look at besides Pacheco that could really have a type of explosive play would be Xavier Worthy. And it would be something similar to what we saw with Terry McLaurin do when if the Eagles are in a cover 4 look and they decide to run a long crosser and just let him cross against the green, and then he's got a full head of steam going and they throw him that way too, and then he starts running. We know his speed, the 4.2 speed that he has. Yeah, that's where I think the best play. But yeah, it's going to be a lot. I don't foresee the Chiefs getting like, okay, throwing long downfield, and everything. So I feel confident in the Eagles secondary, at least to stop those types of routes as well too. So it's their methodical approach, and then I think also we hear so much complementary football, offense helping defense helping offense. Well, the Eagles' offense is using their run game and really wearing down and rolling off those 7, 8, 9 minute drives. I think you limit their chances of even doing that, and that really puts pressure on the Chiefs' offense. And you've seen what done. It's almost that one. So the offense is going to have to help the defense a lot as well too.
Chris, let me ask you something. Me and John have been kicking around for the last week and change here. The chess match here with coaching. All right. I believe Super Bowls are won on the field, but they're also won off the field. And I think coaching has a big impact on Super Bowls specifically, really in the NFL as a whole, but Super Bowls, it's heightened. Who's got the coaching advantage in this game, Chris? Not just Andy and Nick, but, you look at Spags and Vic Fangio, the whole staff. Who do you give the advantage to from a coaching perspective coming into this game?
That's tough because I look at I'm really excited about Vic versus Andy. I know Vic doesn't have the record against him. I want to see what these players versus they have right now. I'm really excited for that. Then you look at Andy Reid, and then you look at what he's done over the course of the season and his success off of bye. Whether you can say the same thing. This is tough. I'm probably giving a slight edge to the Chiefs right now. A very slight edge. Because I just look at the work that Andy has done as a whole. And then Spagnuolo, the way that he comes up and derives those specific blitzes at the right time to really put pressures on quarterbacks. I still look at that conference championship game. And this is where it's imperative for the Eagles to not get into second, to put themselves in third and long or fourth and long, especially late in the game. Because of some of those blitz designs that he has.
Yeah, he's coming. He's selling out.
Baby. He's
selling out in the big spot. You know what I do? And I think a lot of teams falter, and you saw it with Buffalo, as you mentioned. Like, he's coming in those big situations in the fourth quarter. I'm just throwing the go ball to AJ. I'll take my chances that AJ beats whomever, even 50-50 ball against Trent McDuffie, if it's that. I'll take my chances. Yeah, at that point, and I'm talking fourth and 8, whatever it was with Buffalo, fourth and whatever it was, must-have situation. You can't not know that he's coming. It seemed like Buffalo was shocked.
And I don't think, and I think, and the thing I think Spagnuolo does a little bit this week, that if he might change it up, we saw all those cover zero where he just hit the house and it's like 1-on-1. I think he sends some weird zone blitzes where he drops back some of those, and Hurts is going to run and try to get it out quick and slant or whatever, and he drops back the edge rusher.
Dare we say an interception? Dare we say, Chris? Are you expecting a Jalen Hurts interception?
I'm not.
No, I think he'd hold on. I think he'd take the sack before he threw the interception.
Yeah, he's so risk-averse at this point. They've beaten it out of him. I don't think that's a good thing, by the way. But they've beaten it out of him.
Yeah, I think we'll see more zone blitz looks so that way so they can still keep eyes on Barkley and Hurts and still try to bring pressure and just try to make him think, try to decipher real quick. But we've seen Jalen's numbers against the blitzes are actually good. So this is why I love this matchup.
He's good when he throws the ball, but he takes a lot of sacks. And you just brought up something important, I think, in this game, which is third and long situations. I think sacks in this game, Jalen can't take sacks in this game, especially if you want to run the ball on the Chiefs. When you're a running offense, going behind the sticks throws off your entire offensive game plan. So if you get into a sack situation where Spags is bringing the blitz, that's the only situation I could see where they force Jalen to make a mistake and potentially throw an interception is you get him in 3rd and 15 or 14 or 13 because he took a bad sack. Then you can bring the pressure and kind of force him to throw the ball up. That would be the only circumstance, but he's good against the blitz, but he's also taken a lot of sacks this year. I think his number is like close to 40.
And for me, I think I'm looking at, like, for me, if I'm waiting on third blitzing, I think 3rd and 8's a lot more dangerous that way because in your mind, you're like, okay, 8's close enough where I can still use almost all my playbook and still try to get a first down. So you may feel like you get a little more change. But these 3rd, 15, 3rd, 16, you know, like, okay, you like know, like, all right, they're going to go after you or they're going to drop everybody back. I think I want to see how he manages those situations like the 37, 38 because it's like, okay, I can zip this in here just in case I need to. And if it's some weird look that are bringing pressure from one way, and they drop Karlaftis or something back on the opposite way, and you're like, oh, I got this here. And then next, you know, boom, deflection, pass breakup, or worse, interception. That's why I think you start to get like a little queasy in that those situations.
I have confidence in Vic Fangio. I think Vic is better than Spags. I'm evidently the only one, but I stand by that, and I think I will be vindicated after this game. But we shall see. I'm told by Eagles fans there's only 2 ways the Eagles can lose this game, Chris. You brought up one of them, the Bass Park Avenue conspiracy to keep the Kansas City Chiefs on top. And number 2, the lack of focus Kellen Moore will have because he's going to be the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints. That's it. It's the only 2 ways they can lose this football game because they are vastly superior to the Kansas City Chiefs. Your thoughts?
My thing with Moore is, if anything, I think he knows he's got the job, so you don't have to worry about as much. You just let them worry about collect the assistants behind the scenes. Like a lot of times, especially those coaches, they already know who they want their staff to be at, and they reached out to them already. Like, hey, be prepared. Especially being this is the last game of the year, they pretty much know what's going to happen in terms of that. So I think he's focused. No, I think there's a whole nother element with the end thing. I think I would be more worried about the earlier rounds in the playoffs, what have you, when they happen again in the same situation. But yeah, I don't foresee a problem in terms of focus or what have you, because most of the offense is already put in, like the game plan is already put in anyway, to mitigate a lot of these other distractions with throughout the week and media obligations, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't foresee any distractions in terms of Kellen Moore. I think he's going to be all right. And the only other thing I can think of, like you said, the Park Avenue and all that stuff, it's just if they start to get sloppy with taking care of the football in terms of the fumbles or the punt returns or what have you, something like that, unless there's something where there's a fumble there, a bobble, what have you, and they turn the ball over that way, I think they stay in this game. And it's going to be a really big. I think no surprise spoiler, I think they pulled out.
Chris, I normally never have any concern about the Eagles' offensive line, and I'm not going to say I do here, but I will say you got Mekhi Becton, who's a first-year guard, and you got Cam Jurgens, who's a first-year starting center. Now, they've had a really good year. they haven't quite played a player like Chris Jones. Chris Jones is the type of guy that can change an entire game. He's got Jalen Carter level abilities, probably the only guy left that's above Jalen Carter as a defensive tackle in this league. How do you handle Chris Jones in this game?
You double you do the Jalen Carter, give him Jalen Carter treatment. And even if you don't like one-on-one, like Landon Dickerson, I think if he was completely healthy, I think you still even double team him. He's just that good of a player. And one thing that the three of them, the whole interior part of the offensive line needs to work on is communicating with those stunts. Because I can see them running a lot of stunts because that's the one. If there is Achilles heel, if you want to attack this offense, the best thing to do is, especially early on, is to run those stunts because they're until they finally figure out how to stop them. And that's where I think you worry about the twist games and everything else, and they play inside. Chris Jones is a really good, extremely good defensive tackle, and he's warranted enough of respects in order that he deserves double teams in terms of that. So basically, you give him Jalen Carter treatment. I'm not worried about George Karlaftis, but I think Lane Johnson or George, if he decides to put Karlaftis on the left side, I think they can do well in that one too. But you double him. I know that is asking a lot to single some of those other guys, but yeah, you have to double him. You can't let him go one-on-one and try to wreck you or get a penetration inside.
Offensively, Patrick Mahomes. We've not talked about Patrick a lot because I think it's understood what type of player you're dealing with. Depending on the season, Lamar Jackson's probably going to be the MVP. We'll see how that shakes out at NFL honors. But I think everybody knows Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. And he deserves that thought process. Travis Kelce, arguably the greatest postseason receiver of all time. Jerry Rice, probably the only other one in the conversation. Those two, the chemistry. I think Oren Burks has held up very well, and I'm surprised by that, replacing Jacoby Dean. Is this the week that ends? Because if you go back to last year's Super Bowl, Andy Reid was sure aware when Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles and Oren Burks was on the field. Any concerns over that?
If they try to isolate them, if they go if they try to spread them out and just like base personnel, what have you, and then you have to force like Oren to start looking around there and he's forced to play Kelsey man. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not so much concerned about him in the run game, but it's when they try to isolate him, or if Pacheco starts to leak out the backfield toward his side, then that's when I start to look a little bit more and start to get a little worried about that in that aspect. But if it's in terms of just like regular base personnel, him trying to locate the ball, him trying to find everything else, then I think these will be fine. It's just those when they pick their spots and they want to throw him in space, that's where I have a few worried about him being out there against him. But other than that, it's more against the running backs as opposed to Kelce and Travis Kelce, I think.
How much hidden yardage, special teams, you think that has an impact on this game, Chris? It certainly had a big impact in Super Bowl 57, obviously with the punt return. Jake Elliott's been a topic of conversation all year long with the way he's gone up and down and been inconsistent and missing his kicks. And I think the Chiefs have one of the best kickers in the NFL in Harrison Butker. So how much does that have an impact on this game, in your opinion?
The field goal block. You have to watch the Chiefs field goal block. You can't, and you're looking at the internal pressure that they get and the way they're able to penetrate through some of those cracks right alongside the long snap. And you have to watch that. You can't do that. There's
Rick
no way
Lombardo's not having a good couple weeks, Chris, as well. I've noticed that some shaky snaps.
I wonder if he's banged up a little bit too, because that's very like some of those things were low, and you got to credit Braden Mann for the way he's been able to salvage a lot of those holds, because there are a couple of shaky ones in the last couple of weeks. Like he got that down. All right, cool. So I think the timing's a little. It looks like something's a little off with the timing a little bit. I think because of the snaps, what have you. But overall, I'm worried about. You need those guards next to him to really block it, to really help him out, especially since he's defenseless while he's down there. But they can still. His head's down. He's snapping the ball. He can't see it. But the Chiefs get a lot of pressure on those insides too. We've seen that block field goal they had to win in game as well too. So it's a concern. I think in terms of points, not so much the yards, but I don't feel like we'll see a copy of that 57, because I think the special teams is better than what we saw that season. That season there were some worries. There are concerns about that special teams unit. I think it's gotten better in terms of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple starters being on there to help side salvage as well too. Maybe Nolan Smith gets a kickoff return, kickoff coverage snap or two, or what have you, just to try to do it. Because what are you going to do? It's the last game of the season. It's the Super Bowl. You try to do everything you can to win. I do worry about that pressure up the middle. So Jake Elliott is in a dome, so you don't have to worry about the win. Just worry about him being affected by the pressure.
We'll see how it all plays out. Chris, if the Eagles win the game, all right, if the Eagles win the game, who's going to make the big play? All right, it doesn't have to be a Saquon Barkley MVP winner. Brandon Graham made the big play. He didn't win Super Bowl MVP. Who's going to make the big play in this Super Bowl if you had to take a guess?
See, the Hollywood storyline would be Nolan Smith coming around the edge and strip sacking him with the late in the lead. So it's like,
I like that.
It's officially passed on. BG has officially passed the torch to Nolan Smith.
That's a good one.
I'm going to go off the board. Or not really off the board. I'm going to go something with like Dallas Goedert gets like a 40-yard catch and run.
Ooh, I like that.
He does that for, especially if they run him off, and then they do something where he crosses and he gets that. I think something like that. But obviously Saquon rips one. I think that's the biggest. That's the play that you'll see the NFL films, leave drive or he's doing it. That's the play you'll hear the music in the background where Saquon's running off tackle or running down the field that way and all stuff. I think that's the one that you start.
I thought you were going to go. Let's see. I got to do this in my head. I thought you were going to go Will Shipley, taking it, pitching it to Grant Calcaterra and throwing it to Jalen Hurts.
No. Oh, the other one I can think as well too. The hometown kid the hometown kid catches a touchdown pass late with 2 minutes left in the game with Devontae Smith. He catches a touchdown pass and they go up late.
Yeah.
So something like one of those two things. Whoever the script writer is, I hope it's something good.
All right. At C Franklin News, make sure you follow Chris on X. One of sad times, NJ.com, you can read them there. I saw the Newark Star Ledger, the South Jersey Times, final print edition. Everything's digital now. That sucks, by the way. Disappointed for everybody in this industry. But boy, it's disappointing when you can't hold a newspaper in your hands. But I get young people don't even know what that is, Chris. So you got them. Yeah.
Times are changing quick, man.
Times are changing, but one thing that doesn't change in this industry is the prediction. You're on the spot. You can always change it. We'll keep a look at C Franklin at C Franklin News, but your early thoughts. Who's going to win Super Bowl 59?
My early thought, my guts tell me the Eagles win it 34-31.
Woo!
I originally
38 from 38 to 35 loss to 34 to 31 win. That's a lot of points for the Chiefs, man.
I initially thought 31-27 Eagles, but I'm like, you know what? Something just tells me I just got this feeling like it might be a track meet, and hopefully the turf is better this time, so people are slipping.
I think it's going to be better because it's the Superdome. They can't screw this one up. They have synthetic turf, so it's not one of those hokey. You can open the roof or close it. The Superdome is old and it's standard, and there's nothing they can do to screw up the field. At least we do know that. So they're going to have to find another way to help the Chiefs.
The Chiefs got to play on that field too. I get it though. I mean, holy shit.
I'm joking, obviously. They don't care, but
I think there's a parade on Broad Street again. So.
All right, you heard it from Chris Franklin. Parade on Broad Street, and obviously that would be meaning picking 32nd in the draft. So you're less likely to get Myles Garrett.
Yeah, not getting Myles Garrett. I don't think.
Unintended consequences to everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Chris, thanks for joining the show, man. We appreciate it. As always, great catching up with you. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we will talk to you on the other side of it, my friend. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Yeah, have a good one now.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Chris Franklin joining the show. Great stuff by Chris Franklin.
All right, we got an Eagles win.
Yeah,
that should excite people.
I'll tell you
That's
what,
a lot of points, but the Chiefs haven't scored 31 points all season.
I think they only have 30 once, right?
Yeah, 30 twice, I think.
30 twice.
I'll double check.
Haven't been a huge high scoring offense, but I'll tell you what, I know we're not going to give our predictions out till Friday, but most people probably know where I'm going. I do feel I feel more now. Maybe it's just the benefit of the right now, and I'm being duped by being a prisoner of the moment, which is certainly plausible. But I feel better about this team coming into this game certainly than I did in 22 coming into this game.
Yeah, I see. I'm not that I feel worse, but I think people have put it into their mind that was not a good team, or
no, I haven't. I just think this team is better.
I don't know. I don't know. That team was really good. That team was really good.
I don't know, John. I think defensively though, man, they weren't playing like they are this year.
I mean, they were second and 12 yards off being first. Like what are people? People just make that shit up. They just make it up. They had 70 sacks. They had 70 freaking sacks. There was no Hassan Reddick on this defense. There is none. I don't know why people say that, and if they just forget, because again, if you don't win, it becomes lost. They were 13-1 when Jalen Hurts got hurt in Chicago. 13-1. And my point being there is, if Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, they probably finish 16-1. That team was fucking good. I'm not saying this team isn't fucking good, because they are, but I just think people have forgotten how good that team was. And oh, by the way, that Chiefs team wasn't as good, at least from a record standpoint, as this Chiefs team, which is 17-1, 17-2, but
right.
Again, they didn't play in week 18. So I think that is one narrative that is just revisionist history, complete revisionist history, complete. That fucking 22 team, and I've heard Nick Sirianni say it, by the way. It's the best offense he's ever been a part of.
I think there's no doubt that the offense was different that year, but we did add Saquon Barkley.
I get it, man, but you can't say one day ultimate team game, next day Saquon Barkley. I mean,
well, no, but yeah, I guess you're right. Look,
Saquon Barkley's a better running back than they had. There's no question about that.
Yeah, no, I know you're not saying that. I'm not saying you're dismissing that. I'm saying that the lack of running game though in the Super Bowl was so negative for us that you're not going to have that this year. And I believe that could be the difference in the game. You tried, John, in 22 in the Super Bowl, we took the Chiefs game and we played it and we tried to beat them with it. The same thing Buffalo's been doing for 4 years. You lost in the last second. That's how they win that's how they seem to win every game when people try and play their game against
all I'm trying to say is because it's not just you. I've heard it from almost everybody that say this Eagles team is much better than that Eagles team. They might even be a little bit better. They certainly aren't much better. That was a really, really, really good team.
All right, John, who are you taking? 24 defense, 22 defense.
I would give a slight edge to this defense.
Because of Vic, probably for you?
Vic and the linebackers, probably.
Okay.
But again, N'Kobe's not here, so that might be mitigated somewhat.
Right.
I think everybody looks at the corners. That is the biggest bullshit in the world. Slay's 2 years older. James Bradbury was a second-team All-Pro. Everybody, not the James Bradbury of 2023, not the James Bradbury here. The James Bradbury of 2022 had a better season than Quinyon Mitchell had this year. Cooper, I'd go slight advantage to Cooper. Slight advantage. Avonte Maddox was one of the best 2 or 3 slot cornerbacks in football. lost because he is gone in a negative direction. Same as James Bradbury. I'm not talking about James Bradbury now. I'm not talking about Avonte Maddox now. I'm talking about 2022 James Bradbury. Life moves fast in the NFL. I'm not talking about them now. I'm talking about what they were in that season. And then Hassan Reddick, I'm telling you, one of the best seasons in Eagles history for a defensive player. You talk about the best defensive player, you can go Jalen Carter. Is Jalen Carter more talented? Yes, he's more talented. He's more set up to have a long career. I'm saying dominance for one fucking year, Hassan Reddick. You can't find two guys. You'd have to go back to Reggie White to find a defensive player that had a better season than Hassan Reddick in 2022. I think it is the dumbest narrative leading up to the Super Bowl because everybody relitigates what happened. They're not in that moment.
And I'm watching it happen in real time. I don't agree with you, not 100%, but what you're saying is completely factual. Look at some of these comments. I just don't understand what they're saying. One guy checked in, J-Mac, that's cap. Bradbury was trash in 22.
Oh,
he was an all-pro.
He was a second team all-pro. Second team all-pro. You're cap. You're fucking lying.
Tyler Kilgore says, John, you're the worst reporter ever for Philly. Maddox has been the worst player in Philly in a decade besides Bradbury, even in 22.
Oh, my God. Tyler, my God, you're just dumb. Yeah. You're just dumb.
Maddox was widely regarded as one of the best slot corners in the NFL.
I covered that team. I had this argument. Jody and I used to have the argument. I covered the 98 Vikings. I covered the 2017 Eagles. I told Jody at the time, that is the best team I've ever covered, the 22 Eagles. He said it can't be because they didn't win. I go, teams get upset all the time. That is the best team I've ever covered, the 2022 Eagles. Now I have to reevaluate and where is it going to be? Is this team better? They're close. I don't know if they're better. And everybody just flippantly says they're better. I'll tell you that team was more well-rounded. That team was more well-rounded than this team.
It's tough because
those kind of comments you just put up, no offense to those people, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. The guy was a second team all-pro because you think he's not a good player in 2023 and he wasn't, or obviously he didn't even play this year. And you think Avonte Maddox is the worst player in Philadelphia for the past 10 years. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm sorry. How do you get to the Super Bowl if all these people are trash?
Yeah.
You're fucking clowns. You're clowns. That's what I'm talking about. It's not an accomplishment to these clowns to make it to the Super Bowl and play the best team in football to the last moments. And by the way, I believe if Jalen Hurts, if they didn't call the penalty on Bradbury, I think Jalen Hurts was playing so well, he probably goes down the field and wins the game, which is why the Eagles were so disappointed in not having that opportunity. Those comments are ridiculous.
There's ridiculous history there. There's no doubt about it. I'm sorry, but it just got proved in real time here on the show. Great response there. Let's get to a couple super chats, and we'll let you get out of here, John, with your final thoughts. Great stuff there. Devin Parker checks in. What's up, Devin? 2017 vibes are in the air. We're getting this W. I don't know. I was talking to Flex about this last night. I don't really agree with the 2017 vibe. I think it's different because of the backup quarterback that year. But I think people are talking about the camaraderie of the team. It does kind of seem like they're all.
I will say this is better than 2017 team.
I think 22 and 24 are close, but I like 24. Maybe I'm just a prisoner of the moment. Big Miz checks in. Big Z, Garnett was a great player, stuck on a bad team for a long. I know it well, man. I love Kevin Garnett. Finally got traded and won. Yeah, he's got what, one NBA championship in his career.
Yeah, I think he just
won
got
and he
one.
Went to two, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went to two and won one.
Yeah, tremendous. Yeah. I covered Kevin in Minnesota. Tremendous.
Yeah, he was a great player.
Yeah. And they had a lot of good teams there too, just not obviously. But yeah, a lot of bad teams as well.
Chasen checks in. What's up, Chasen? Good to see you, my man. My problem with the 22 defense was they no-showed in the bowl. I don't see this defense with a stronger back end doing the same. I think that's fair. Well, the defense didn't show up in 22 in the Super Bowl because why? I mean, I do think the field was a factor. Now, both teams had a play on it, but
games have personalities.
Exactly.
Do
you think
the defense didn't show up in the
than they were in 57?
The defense didn't show up in the 52 Super Bowl. They won the fucking game. Nobody cares. Did they play well in Super Bowl 57? No. They played better than the Super Bowl 52 defense, but they didn't play well.
I love John's ability to dismantle almost everything. Every
argument. Well, because it's just
no, it's good. I think you're right. I think you bring a lot of merit to the conversation.
I do not think the Chiefs have the ability to turn this into a shootout. So I think that helps right off the bat. I don't think they're as explosive as they were in 2022. But you had a lot of things contributing to that. Special teams. Like I thought one of Howie's biggest mistakes was and I said it last week on the show, was being loyal to Aaron Cepas instead of letting Brett Kern punt in the Super Bowl. That turned out to be a catastrophic mistake, to be honest. You're not going to see that with Braden Mann. He's not going to kick it the wrong way. So it's more likely you're going to cover a punt. It's more likely because of Vic Fangio, you're not going to have blown coverages. I agree with that. There's a lot of things that trend in the Eagles' direction better, but I think that disrespect for that 2022 team is hilarious. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, at the time I said it's the best team I've ever covered. It was a great football team. And the bullshit about Bradbury and Maddox, I mean, my God, people are just ridiculous. They're just ridiculous.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Brian Pumper checks in. Y'all see Goodell get checked by the media for helping the Chiefs. We got these dudes on notice. NFL got to prove they're not scripted. Come on, Pumper.
Come on, Pump. Yeah, they're not scripted.
No. Q the God checks in. He says,
but there will be shitty calls in the Super Bowl, so be prepared for it.
Always going to be shitty calls. That's officiating. Q the God says, stat on ESPN, when the Eagles didn't get pressure, the secondary was 25th in the league, which I don't know how you quantify that. This year, when pressure, the Eagles are first. Well, yeah, pressure's always going to help, but how do you quantify that?
I don't know. Pressure, yeah. I mean, cover and rush and cover. They go together.
Mad Dio. What's up, Mad Dio?
If you get pressure, you're going to cover better.
Yeah, no doubt. Part of the reason that 22 worked well, Mad Dio says, did the D-line sacks not traveling to the Super Bowl decrease the overall defensive performance in the 22 Super Bowl and make the whole defense appear worse? I think that's fair.
Well, I don't think they played well. I mean, the field certainly contributed, but both teams had to play. Kansas City had a very good pass rush. They had to deal with it.
Yeah.
Not as good. The Eagles' pass rush was historic, so I get why people focus on it. So, I mean, the field was a big part of it, but, both teams have to play on it. It was shitty for both teams. So I don't know about that. I don't think they played well just in general, and it happens. I mean, it's not great when it happens on the biggest stage. They also, were doing fine at halftime and kind of fell apart in the second half, which is disappointing. And maybe being there helps because, again, the Super Bowl is a little bit different than a regular game. You have the extended halftime. Maybe they didn't handle that well. Nick Sirianni's talked about that. He's made some tweaks. Maybe that experience helps them. And I do think, Vic has got this team buttoned up pretty well. I just don't see a ton of blown coverages.
Me neither.
So I don't think they're going to show up in the worst moment, but can't guarantee it. I mean, they've had their moments, Washington, obviously down there, allowing some significant conversions late in games. The Rams allowing them to be in a position to where Jalen Carter had to save the game. There have been moments where things haven't looked great on the back end. But when you win, those get erased.
No doubt. By the way, let me just correct this one super chat. He meant, and I read it wrong. My bad, Q the God. The secondary, I think he's talking about 22 was 25th in the league. And this year, when they don't get pressure, they're still first in the league. So I think that's what he meant there. My bad, Q. I read it wrong. I still saw somebody correct me in the chat. Jeff Bone says, Johnny Max in rare form. Loving it. Me too, Bonehead. I love it. Brian Pumper says, Juju took Bradbury's soul like Shang Tsung. J-Max, stop defending that banana peel. These young bulls are beta. Oh, my Lord.
I mean, like, why is the necessity to say the guy had a bad year when he was a second-team All-Pro? Did the Eagles have a second-team All-Pro cornerback this year? When is the last time the Eagles had a second-team All-Pro cornerback? Anybody?
Some will argue they were aided by the pass rush, which is like complimentary football. I mean, that's football.
Everybody, I just said, cover, rush, and cover. Everybody's aided. So what? Darius Slay was out there. Bradbury had a better year. They're not aided by the pass rush. They have the second best pass rush in football this year, according to PFF.
There is so much revision. And you remember, John, people used to tweet like making fun of Giants fans because remember they got rid of Bradbury that year, and then he was an All-Pro for us. So there is so much. The amount of revision is history.
I mean, I don't even know, and I don't even know why I get upset by it. Not that I give a shit, but you know, I always break my own rule. Hypocrites do not care that they practice hypocrisy. I mean, I guarantee those same morons that said that were doing what you said. Oh, the Giants are stupid for giving up Bradbury. And then 2 years later, they're calling the guy trash because they don't like him now. Because like most football players, you know, as age it goes and things move fastly, you don't stay at the same level. But to pretend that James Bradbury 2023 was not good in 2022, it's just a flat out lie. Or you weren't watching, or you don't understand football. I don't know what to tell you. They were 13-1 when Jalen Hurts got hurt. It's the most dominant team in football.
We're way over, John. Let me read these real quick and get you out of here. Seth Shifley says, Jalen Hurts to the Chiefs offense on Sunday. If you want some, come get some. Chiefs defense, excuse me. Good stuff, Seth. And Matt NG, what's up, brother? I think Travis being less explosive at the Y helps our linebackers in coverage. I could be wrong, but he hasn't been his explosive self.
Oh, he's getting older.
Yeah.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, I agree.
He's 35. He's averaging under 10 yards a catch. He hasn't been as explosive, but he's picked it up in the playoffs as he typically does.
Yeah. Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. John, your final thoughts on today? We're way over, brother. I didn't even realize it was 10:10 already. Your final thoughts on this show? We're 5 days out from Super Bowl 59, brother.
Yeah. I get everybody wants to stick out their chest and everybody wants this team to win. And they very well might because I do think they had a better roster. They do have a better roster. But I warned you, I thought they had a better roster in 2022. And the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And we'll see. We got plenty of time to talk about this game, and it's going to be over analysis galore and everybody trying to figure out this and figure out that. But boy, come on, stop the revisionist history. Can we please don't be a slave to the moment, please.
John, that was one of your best checkdowns I think I've heard since I started hosting this show on Birds 365.
Well, it's easy when it's false. I mean, you know, it's easy.
Good stuff there. One more super. Matt Diaz says, our rush used speed more than power, especially with Hargrave and Reddick. And Kansas City rush was more power and bull rushes with Chris Jones and all.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's different ways to get to the passer. But Hassan Reddick had a freaking phenomenal season. You know, he was 4th in Defensive Player of the Year. Boy, I think he had when you add in the playoffs, I think he had over 20 sacks. I mean, guy was phenomenal. It's like people don't recognize it. I don't know. And the cornerbacks are even worse. I mean, that's just stupid. that they weren't good.
All right, Johnny Mac, good show, brother. I appreciate you doing a little overtime today. I'll text you after once I get off the air here so we can work out something for tomorrow and figure out where we are, because I know you're traveling. John is traveling, everybody, to New Orleans tomorrow. So John will be in the building. John will be in the city. So we will catch up with John tomorrow from New Orleans, and I'll keep you guys posted on the channel about what the scheduling looks like. The one thing I can guarantee is we'll have content. It just might not be our typical, usual, regular schedule all day, all the time. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Johnny Mac, travel safe, brother. And I'll talk to you after the show today, man, when I get off, and we'll organize some stuff.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Johnny Mac. Johnny McMullen checking in here, the #1 Eagles beat reporter in town. And boy, was he on one today, crushing it. I thought he really corrected those narratives well. I mean, you know, look, I love the chat. I love all you guys in the chat. But when John believes something, boy, he will give it to you. All right? He will give it to you. And I love that about him. Let me get to some supers. I apologize, by the way. Everybody's sending supers. It's 10:15. I had to let John run, man. John doesn't know the business like I'll go as long as you guys keep me here. But, you know, I got to get John out of here. He's got a lot of other stuff. All right. Let me read some supers from you guys. Matt NG again. What's up, Matt? Knew my lot of Bane quote this week. Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you. Is that a Bane quote? I like that one. I could see him dropping that on the Chiefs this week. Caleb Brandon. What's up, Caleb? Sorry, I didn't read these to John, everybody. I had to let him run, all right? Caleb Brandon says, Bradbury 22, worse than Mitchell 24. Bradbury wasn't ready, but pretty clear who the better football player is. Bradbury was solid for that system and rush. I think John would rip. I think John would shred you, Caleb. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I feel more confident in Bradbury. I do. I'm with you on that. Or not in in Quinion. I'm with you, but I know John would read this and say you're delusional. Okay? You're delusional. That's what John would say. I don't know if it's true or not. I feel good about Quinion Mitchell. But, you know, Tyler, was it you that John just was it you, Tyler? Somebody I almost felt bad for. I mean, John just freaking shredded you guys. Shredded. Was it you, Tyler? I apologize. Well, I don't apologize, but that's what you're gonna get here on Birds 365. I think it's a good thing. I mean, wouldn't you rather have a host that'll take some comments from you guys and either agree or disagree one way or the other? Brian Pumper checks in again. Don't tell me we're about to lose to these cornballs again. Quote, no one believes in us. I don't think we're going to lose this game. I'll tell you. I mean, I'm not giving my score prediction yet, but I don't think we're going to lose this game. I feel way better about this team. I don't know why. Maybe it's prisoner of the moment. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's eagle-colored glasses. Maybe it's not. I've been told I've been wearing eagle-colored glasses all year long, but the team just keeps freaking winning. I said 14-3 back in the beginning when the schedule came out. Every person we had on the show laughed at me. Oh, you're the Eagle guy. You're the Eagle guy. I'm like, I really don't think I'm being an Eagle guy. Because if you know me in my own life, I don't look at anything through a fan glass like that. I'd much rather be objective. I'd much rather listen to the opinion that we're not what we think we are and then combat that. I don't know. I feel good about this Super Bowl. Matt Dio says the loose field could affect speed rush more than power rush. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Dio, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's how the game played out. It's all pie in the sky at this point. Carl, $2. Carl, thank you, sir. Caleb Brandon again. What's up, Caleb? Good to see you in here, my man. Appreciate you. I don't care what PFF or journalists say. Ask players. If you watch Quinion and Bradbury, it's not close. Accolades don't confirm players. Film does. Yeah, but Caleb, where the revisionist history comes in is that's not the argument. And I see what you're saying, that Quinion's a better player. I agree. James Bradbury was not a trash can that year. He was not. You don't make second team all-pro, Caleb, and you know this, without being a competent player. Okay? That's where I think John is arguing. You saying I think Quinion Mitchell is a better player is different. You believe he's got more inherent skills. That's fine. Bradbury was not a trash can that year, though. Jason A-Team checks in. What's up, Jason? So many questions on Media Day was so wasteful and stupid. Why do people waste interviews like that? Also, the inappropriate question of Barkley about spicing up the bedroom was so out of pocket around kids at that. Pisses me off. I didn't see that. The heck was that about? Wait, what are you talking about? Did somebody ask that? That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. There's a lot of weird people. There's a lot of weird ass people in the world, yo. Don't get me started on that, please. Because I'll be on a tangent. The dude who asked Jalen too about being handsome and stuff. I'm like, bro, Jalen Hurts is a handsome guy. If you can't, like, it's very easy to, well, yeah, Jalen Hurts, handsome guy, good. I don't care he's handsome. I mean, great. But to get up there and scream that at immediate, I'm just like, what is going on? Who are they credentialing for these people? But I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows? Brian's telling me I'm a pause because Jalen Hurts is a handsome guy. No, if you can't admit that there are other handsome human beings on earth, I would say that that's a pause for you, my friend. I would say that's a pause for you. It's not hard to admit that. Caleb Brandon says, Bradbury was not trash. I will not co-sign the trash part. I agree. Bradbury was far from ass. I agree. He was more than good, just not as good as Rook. That's fair. I think that's the most fair. That's the most fair. Devin Parker checks in. This team feels better than 22. 17 vibes on how they're playing and together. I don't think anyone wants to be on the wrong side of history. This is funny that you guys are all reacting to this conversation. Like you had like you've never whatever. If you guys want to sit behind your computer screens and act like that is a funny thing, that's fine. Okay. I'm honest with myself and I don't have any issue being honest. I appreciate all the super chats. Should we do a giveaway today? All right. Tyler checks in. Tyler, again, you got shredded today, my boy. Zander, thanks for the good show every day. I live in Vancouver Island, and your show helps me get through the morning. How you doing? Good stuff. Good stuff. Prince says, gay. I don't think it's gay. I'm very comfortable with who I am as a man. All right. I don't think it's a big deal to say that Jalen Hurts is a handsome fella. Jeez, you guys are the fragility in here is alarming. Oh my Lord. Insecure. Yeah, for real. Oh my God. Kenny Sprague says, Zander, take some time off and relax today, man. It's a Super Bowl week. Kenny, I'll relax when I'm dead, my brother. I'll relax when I'm dead. Yeah, I mean, Josh B. It's not. I don't think it's even weird to say. Like, I'm surprised that people are so like thrown off with this. It's like, all right, bro, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Holy crap! You know, I do think that's where I do get a kick out of like who was the one dude who was calling Jalen, said he had pretty privilege or something. Who was that? What was that guy's name? Foxworth? Was it Dominique Foxworth? Oh my God, that was hilarious. I got such a kick out of that. Twist the Jigga is bringing. You guys are funny, man. You guys are funny. Let me respond to this message. Oh, I got a good story. Listen to this. Cam says, can I get a go Birds? Go Birds, baby. Go Birds. I'll give you that. So I got a good story. All right. Yeah, Daz. Everybody put their rainbows in the chat. Big Trag. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable in here. Man, you guys might be the Foxworths of the chat. That's what you guys might be. My girl said Jalen's handsome. Oh my God, you softies. You softies. You softies. All right, so listen to this. Yesterday I was outside, all right, outside at my truck. All right. And my neighbor walks up to me, okay? And he says, I love what you're doing. I love watching your shows on YouTube. You guys do such a great job. Go Birds. Like, let's go get the Super Bowl. And I'm like, wait a second. I have never once in my life told you what I do. Okay, we've never talked about it. I mean, I like my neighbor. I don't have like a working relationship with him. All right. And he comes over here and he's talking to me about my shows. I'm like, that's the coolest thing in the world, that I'm outside and my neighbor is listening to JAKIB Sports. And I didn't know. It'd be one thing if I told him, or if I had a JAKIB lawn sign outside, or, I went over there and I was like, hey, yo, check me out on YouTube. No, he's an old FOP cop, man. He's great. He's a cop. He's in the FOP, man. He's a cool dude. An old head. You could call him an unk. Techiana. John isn't shredding people when we can't rebuttal live to him. Some of his comments are trash, but I digress. Oh, that's your opinion. No, I wouldn't say I'm world famous. I just thought it was cool. I just thought it was really cool. Oh my God. This is really a thing. You guys are hilarious. Look at all you guys. Was he handsome, Zander? Zander called him handsome. Oh my God. You guys are some softies. You guys are some real softies. This is what I'm learning about my chat. Boy, I love you guys, but y'all are some softies, man. Y'all are some softies. Mad Bird, tell these dudes they soft. Yo, Prince, you're soft as Charmin, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy crap. There you go, Izzy B. Tell them they're soft. That's true, Siglord. You give you any slack, you're gonna take it. I understand. All right, I'm only doing one giveaway today. All right. So we had 3 winners yesterday. Prince is barking at me. He wants. I want this jersey. No, I'm just kidding, Prince. I'm messing with you. No, but CZ and Vulnerable Vitality, I sent out both your jerseys. All right. I sent out both of your jerseys because I wanted you guys to get them before the Super Bowl, and I already heard that. Well, by the way, can I just shout out Josh B? Look at Big Sills. Big Sills might have the same issue. Look at him. Am I in a gay chat? LOL. God, you guys are some clowns. Sills, I sent your jersey. Prince might be, or Cilio might be in the same boat as Prince. Doesn't surprise me at all. Prince and Cilio. I'm the macho man. I'm the only person in the world that my wife looks at. Okay, Macho Sills. Okay, big boy. Oh, man. Here we go. What was I about to do? Now I got distracted. I just got a great email from one of our members. Not talking about anybody being handsome. There we go. Is today Jerome's birthday? Is that right? Sills, can you confirm? Yes, it is. But today's Jerome Brown's birthday. Sills, I sent you a Jerome Brown jersey, and I've told the people publicly, Sills. So you know what this means is that you will have to wear the Jerome Brown jersey if we win the Super Bowl. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to thank Josh B, all right? Because Josh B was pressuring me. He's like, dude, can you stop with whatever you're doing with the shipment stuff? I promise you, this will be worth your time. So I listened to him, and it was 100% correct, okay? He was 100% correct. So I was able to send out the both winners yesterday. I sent out Sills. I sent out everybody's up to date on the giveaways, and they're going quick. So shout out to him for making that way easier for me. So now when I do giveaways, I can ship them out real quick. So CZ and Vulnerable Vitality both will get their jerseys before the Super Bowl. Prince will not. Because he wants to. He wants a Jalen Carter, which I can't blame him for. That. But he wants it in an XL. Prince, there's no promises I get you that. I'll let you know. There's no promises I can get you that. Jalen Carters are tough to come by right now. Yes, happy birthday to Jerome Brown. So Cilia will have that. Cam, that would be cool. I want an Eagles jersey with Jacob on the nameplate. Izzy wants my love note. Yeah, there's a ditty. There you go. Hit her with the ditty, will you? See, it's amazing how that works when you're not a snowflake like some of you guys. You're just handsome. Look at that. Look at how that works. You softies, you softy McSharmans. Get the Charmin Ultra Soft. Walk through Target today. Make sure you buy the Ultra Soft toilet paper. Tekiana, I read your super chat. It was stupid. I love you. Appreciate the $5, but it was a stupid chat. John isn't shredding people when we can't rebuttal him live. It's not your show, Tekiana. It's John's show. I gave a comment and he destroyed it with fact. Some of these comments are trash, but I digress. Yeah, well, that's what he rebutted. Caleb says, Zander, don't listen to Kenny. Super Bowl grind. Get paid. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Sorry, Kenny. Kenny, I love you, brother, but I'm with Caleb. I'm a grind. I like to grind. I like to work my ass off. In fact, I'm more tired if I take time off. I don't need time off. I don't like time off. This is what I decided this weekend. All right. That's what I decided this weekend, that I actually don't like time off. It bothers me. It bothers me. Soft TP don't make you get. That's funny. That's funny. All right, should I do a giveaway? I don't know. I don't know if I want to do a giveaway today. I don't know. You guys haven't quite convinced me. Let me say that. You haven't convinced me. All right. We've had quite a few winners this week, or this last week. Just sending some love. 21,900 Chilean pesos. Look at that. Caesar says, just sending some love. Go Birds. Caesar, what's up, my man? I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Error says, Q Mitchell jersey. He's not even a member. All right. Cam, I appreciate your support, man. You've been cool today. Dirty Air. Zander saw his shadow. No giveaways for 6 more weeks. Kevin Landon got his JAKIB hat. I love it. Kevin, appreciate your email, brother. Love hearing from you over in the email. He says, love my JAKIB hat. I appreciate you, man. Need 250 likes by 11 p.m. 11 p.m., that's 12 hours from now. You mean 11 a.m.? All right. 11 a.m. Why is Cilio in here watching me give shit away? Sills, what are you doing? What are you lurking, bro? What are you trying to get? Cilio doesn't do anything without some ulterior motives. What are they? Let's identify what Sills' motives are. Cam Linville's got to be my chatter of the day. Giving some love. Look, where did he put? I saw one comment. I didn't read it. Let me get to it. Cam Linville, thanks for the support. Look at this. My guy. If you're a betting man, you know, when I was younger, I used to have an idea that you would be able to bet on people at the beginning of their career. I was mostly athletes, was what I was thinking, like a stock market. You imagine buying Jalen Hurts at $10 a share, and when he got drafted, and now he's one of the highest paid players in the league. Zander, out of all the Eagles content creators I've watched, I believe I have the most fun here on JAKIB. Let's go, Cam. This is the best channel in the world, and it's really because of our people. It's really because of our people. All right? It's really because of our people. You're good, Cam. I appreciate it, man. I know it's money, so if not everybody can do it, I get it. I do get it. Sills is not a member. No, Sills gets paid by JAKIB. He doesn't pay JAKIB. Philly Don. Cilio doesn't give money to JAKIB, okay? Cilio doesn't give shit to JAKIB other than his 4-hour show. And he knows that. You want to go to the Super Bowl? No. I'm not doing that. No. Okay, Sills. Okay, Sills. You called everybody soft-ass bitches today. Bring the energy. Well, Philosopher, they were being softies. They were being softies. All right, I'll do one giveaway. I'm low. I'm telling you right now, I'm low on jerseys. You know, our 2 winners yesterday, remember, they could pick. They both picked XL. So now I'm a little more limited here. All right, I got 2 mediums. I got a large, and I got a 2XL. All right, I got Cooper DeJean in 2XL, Zach Vaughn in large, Jordan Mailata. See, I got great names right now, not great sizes. That's Jalen Carter and Jordan Mailata. So Jordan Mailata, Jalen Carter, Zach Vaughn, and Cooper DeJean. Those are the 4 jerseys I have left. Okay? Those are the 4 jerseys I have left. Give away lunch with Zander. Joe Whip, I don't know if you want that. That's not worth shit. One, I'm not a big lunch eater. North, upgraded. North, I saw that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I really do. That's really cool of you, brother. Good to have you in here. Look at Izzy B. Just one, cheap ass. What a hater. Yeah, take notes. You do. We do it for our members only. All right. I understand not everybody can be a member. I understand everybody's got their things that they're dealing with in life. Believe me, nobody understands that more than me. I promise you, I get it. All right. There's a lot of shit going on. I know people have kids and lives and things to take care of. I understand. Believe me, I understand. So it doesn't bother me if you're not a member. It doesn't bother me if you're not a member. But I will tell you, Cat Dog again with a $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, Cat Dog. Thank you so much, Cat Dog. I appreciate it. Chris Scott says, you're young, Zander. If you have kids, trust me, you'll want time off. Well, I'm 100% going to have kids, Chris Scott. 100% without a shadow of a doubt. But that's why I like working right now, brother. I understand that life is going to change, man. Life will change. Life will change. Right now, I can work 16 hours a day, 17 hours a day, 18 hours a day, and be perfectly fine. I'm young. I'm healthy. I'm in a good frame of mind. I love what I do. I love the people. Life can, exactly, Crowley. Life change any day. Zander wants a football team. Twiz, don't give him all my secrets. You know, Twiz, I told you what happens on Zander time is supposed to stay on Zander time. Each episode is individual. Brian Fleming, you're trolling. Brian Fleming sent me a dope email yesterday. My God, Brian Fleming. All right. Kirsten, I will 100% be doing shows during parenthood. No doubt. All right. There's no doubt. Zander's buying the Celtics. I would never buy that shitty ass Celtic team. F them. F the Celtics. I'd buy the Sixers and actually make them great again. How about that? What can we transform MAGA into to make it for the Sixers? MSGA, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Nothing I can do. All right, how do we make the Sixers great again? Because they're not great. They're not great. Cat Dog, I appreciate your support. $20. Carl says Bradbury's still on the team. He would get a ring. Yes, he would. Yes, he would. 100% would get a ring. Zander would take the Sixers to Jersey. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would be a great sports owner. I would be an excellent sports owner. Maybe if I get enough members, maybe one day we'll get there in life. But no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. All right. We're not there yet. I'm hustling to get gas in the truck. All right. We're not buying any sports teams yet. I promise you. Zander buying a partnership in the Birds. Philly Don, if I could, I would. You know, I told you guys one of my off-season goals is I got to get these Eagles on the phone. All right, I'm going to call Bob Lang. Bob, there's got to be some common ground here, Bob. There's got to be. No, I would trade. If I bought the Sixers, I would trade him. I wouldn't even care about the return. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. We don't need this mentality, this bullshit in our locker room. Get him out of here. I'll trade Embiid for a second-round pick. I don't care. Get Embiid out of here. Get him out of the city. Bob Schieffer says, Zander, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, I'm going to a fancy restaurant. What about you? I'm working. I'll be live on air a lot. Nick R., what's up, man? I appreciate the super chats. You guys are showing out with some supers today. Nick R., Big Z, I love the show. I watch every day at work. Keep pushing back on John. Don't let him bully you. You're doing great. John is a master debater. Okay. He is. He is a master debater. You know, me and Sills have a little more camaraderie in terms of going back and forth and debating on different takes. I do. You guys are all ditties today. Master debater. Remember, John said that before. John said that before. He's like, he said, what did he say? One time we were debating something. And he's like, I did debate school in high school. I won, by the way. It was the funniest off the cuff comment I've ever heard. It was the funniest off the cuff comment I've heard John make. It was very funny. Very funny. That didn't sound right today. That's all right, Flex. Flex, you talk for 4 hours a day, man. People take shit. All right. That's what they're doing. That's what they're gonna do. I mean, I don't really care. All right. I know who I am. You guys know who I am. It's all fun and games. Zitty is pretty hilarious. I will give you that. Zitty down bad today. All right, Prince. I'm getting you an XL Jalen Hurts jersey. How's that? How's that, Prince? I couldn't believe CZ. I sent CZ an email. All right. Last night. He's like, I need an XL. I'm like, all right, CZ, this is what I got. I got Saquon Barkley in XL, and I got Jalen Hurts. You know, I sent that email, and I basically started packing up the Saquon Barkley. I'm like, yeah, he's going to pick Saquon. He emails back, I'll take the Jalen. I'm like, holy shit. Elite. Prince, I told my jersey guy, I'm like, yo, which jerseys are you not selling right now? And he's like, Jalen Hurts. I can't sell them. I can't sell the Jalen Hurts jerseys. I'm like, what? What? The starting quarterback of the team you can't sell? What's going on here? I think a lot of you guys are maybe the comment I referenced earlier is a reason for that. You guys are all afraid to rock a Jalen Hurts jersey. Mem Ray says, I bought them all. Yeah, Reyes did. We need an elite sticker. I agree. Cam Linville, when I become a member, I'd like to try and win a small Saquon jersey. Well, if blessings are coming your way, Cam, maybe you'll get one. I can get smalls. I don't have any smalls, but I can get smalls. Hey, Cat Dog, I'm ahead of you. Well, hopefully we were on the same page here. I show love to all the delivery people around here, post office people, UPS, FedEx, you name it. All right, here we go. Actually, another cool story. Back in the day, I wonder if this guy still listens to the channel. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. One of our, I want to say he was post office. Was post office or UPS? One of our delivery drivers knew us. This was like 3 years ago before I was on the air. So he didn't know me, but he knew the channel. And we gave him a JAKIB sweatshirt. And I think a polo. Whatever we had, we gave him, which was pretty cool. All right, I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to make it take as long as it takes me, and I don't care. Siglord, what? This is what, Siglord, USPS is overpaid. They're government employees. Siglord, I'm not debating the government expenditure on USPS employees. USPS employees are not responsible for that, okay? They're good people. They're other human beings just like we are. I respect them, and I like them. They make the country go round just like many do. All right? I don't agree. Zander, do the giveaway already. Prince says, I don't cry for free shit. I'm grateful either way. Prince, I appreciate you. Talk to Izzy B, though, Prince. Good night. 10 comments in the last 32 minutes. Dave Sports. Yeah, Dave, you were the one who got me to – you were the one, Dave, who got me to take action on Josh B's note about pirate ship. Make these fuckers wait. Devin, you know I have no problem making people wait. You know I got no problem making people wait. Oh, I did get a couple pictures of people rocking their jersey yesterday. Should I show them off? Bird Gang Girl, I want to ask you, make sure you're okay with me showing your picture, because you see the chat, Bird Gang Girl. They're a little unhinged. You might not want me to show that picture. Let me show you guys. Where's my guy, Keith? There he is. Look at Keith. Look at Keith rocking that jersey with the JAKIB note. There's Keith. He's got his Eagles glove on, his hat on, his JAKIB note, and his Quinyon Mitchell jersey. Yeah, cursing. Chat's unhinged. I'm not going to subject Bird Gang Girl to it just for sending me a nice picture of her wearing her new jersey. All right. Yeah, that was Keith Junios, my man. I don't know if he's in here. I'm not sure if he's in here, but I do appreciate him. I do appreciate him. All right, let me show you guys Bird Gang Girl. She was rocking her new Saquon jersey. It was dope. And she had the eagle. She had the eagle perched up. There's Bird Gang Girl in her new Saquon jersey. So shout out to Bird Gang Girl. Bird Gang Girl, I appreciate your support of the channel. All right, thank you so much. Dual threats. Zander, buckle up. I have a 2, a 5, and a 7-year-old. I don't know what the F is going on anymore. I'm being pulled apart at the seams. Dual threat, hang in there. You're good. You will make it through. It'll be over before you know it. Brian Fleming says, I give the jersey to CZ and he picks a jersey no one wants to buy. Brian Fleming. Brian Fleming was our original winner, CZ. Do you know this? He insisted, but I'm sending Brian some merch. I'm sending Brian some JAKIB merch. Not because he needs it, but because I want him to have it. He's one of my favorite commenters. I gave up the jersey to CZ and he picks a jersey no one wants to buy. He seemed happy, though. That's all that matters. That is hilarious. Love the pick, Z. Congrats. Rock on. I love it. Kirsten says she's got 2 kids. Who else sent me a picture? I thought a bunch more people got their thing yesterday. Who else? Oh, Big Trag emailed me, but he didn't send a picture. He didn't send a picture. Dirty Air says my house is destroyed. Dirty Air, were you back to work this weekend? You must have been, right? Not that you weren't working, but I'm sure there's a busier time of the year for you. I'm going to make you guys wait today. That's what's happening. Yeah, 3 daughters and a son here. They give me trouble, but give mama hell. There you go. There you go. All right, I got to go. I'll do a giveaway because I made you guys wait this long. I got to go. I got work to do. Cam, I'm making them wait, bro. I'm making them wait. I will make them wait. Cherish the years of youngsters. Once they hit the teens, you're a stranger. Sounds like a guy. It sounds like Theo's got some experience. All right, so you guys might want to. You guys might want to listen to my guy Theo. Average wait time for giveaway is 90 minutes. Yes. Zander time, baby. Don't abuse my power. Keith, I don't have any power, man. You guys are willingly choosing to be here, Keith. I'm not begging you. I'm not forcing you. I'm not coercing you. I'm not doing nothing, Keith. I'm not doing nothing. This is your choice. You decide to listen to Zander time. You decide to listen to Zander time, Keith. Keith has fully reached the Suplex City level, though. Kyle Kokorski says, Zander, I don't trust the zebras. I don't really care. I don't really care about the zebras. And Zander's drunk on power. What? Power over what? The YouTube chat? I don't even have power. You guys took over the YouTube chat. I don't even have power over that. I don't even have power over that. What kind of power are you referring to, Joe? How about power over my own life? Yeah, baby. That's all the power I need. The power to wake up and breathe the air. How about that? That's enough for me to get through the day. Happily, joyfully, gleefully. All right. Prince says, this is the best Eagles channel, hands down. Thanks, Prince. Thank you, Prince. Zander, stop talking and pull the names. No. Izzy B, I'm removing your name from the list today. Give him a milk. Master Chief, that was epic. Somebody just ordered some JAKIB merch. Who is it? Who is it? Reveal yourself. I don't know the name. I appreciate it so much, though. Thank you so much. Somebody, whoever just ordered JAKIB merch. A good couple of things, too. A good order. A good order. A nice long sleeve and a beanie. Good order. Who have I known longer? J-Mac. I've known J-Mac longer. Not much longer, though. Not much longer. Kristen, I started with JAKIB in 2020. Actually, the funny story about JAKIB is we used to be only a radio company where you can buy time on air. All right. And Primo, you're right about that. You buy time on air and you air content and then you sell ads on it. And then when I did that show, the Zander Krause show, which wasn't about sports, by the way, that was just a different podcast I was doing, interviewing people. I was interviewing like different entrepreneurs, different business people. It was actually really good. It was actually a really good show, but it kind of created the idea that I'm like, well, I should be doing more content. And then I figured out a way to I said, if I can get content consistently on YouTube, then I think I can make hay there. I think I can make it happen there. Primo, look at Primo giving me a reality check. You don't have power over your life. You're a slave to your channels. Primo, that's all right. I'd rather be a slave to something I built than something that's not mine. Primo, I could never work for somebody. It's just my personality. I really couldn't. I haven't done it since I was 16 and I was a bar back in the Jersey Shore. All right. That's the last time I've worked for somebody. When I dropped out of college, I've had so many failures though. Like doing this it requires so much. I've failed so many times. You guys are seeing me finally having something working. You see what I'm saying? Something's working. JAKIB, and that's why I love you guys so much. But boy, have I had a lot of failures. One day we will get into all of the things I have tried in my life, all of the businesses I have started. Okay. And I'm only 26. How many more will I have? Who knows? Yeah, everything owns you after a while. Yeah, that's life. I don't want to go doom and gloom that where people are like, you become a slave. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, you got to work in life. That's life. Life is not meant to be sitting, out in the valley and sitting with your legs crossed singing Kumbaya. I don't want that either. I like working. There you go, Tony. Okay to fail, but get up and learn from the mistakes and you become better. No doubt, Tony. Just looking at the JAKIB merch. I like them bleeding green hoodies. Appreciate that. Yeah, Brandon, you're right. I got to do that. With the post-game show, it's tough. A cat dog says, when would I expect my merch purchased? What do you mean your merch purchased? If you win, I buy it the same day, as soon as I get the information. I don't know what you're asking, Cat Dog. If you clarify, I'll respond to you. Macalia, I say this all the time. If I won the lottery, you just ordered. I'll submit the order today. It'll come in probably a week or change, maybe less. It depends. See, I don't house the merch in house, Cat Dog. So I have a warehouse. They print it as it's ordered, but it's pretty quick. I mean, most people who have ordered, it's not like forever. Ask Joe Whipp. He just ordered something. Izzy B ordered something. Devin Parker ordered something. Kenny Sprague ordered something. Tyler Braswell, Chad Whitaker. Oh, Chad, I got a dope email from Chad. I got to show that picture off. Chad Whitaker, hope you don't mind me showing off this picture. I'm showing it, though. I don't care what you say. This picture's sick. This picture's sick. My guy, Chad, bro. Look at this picture. I love hearing from the great people of JAKIB Nation. Check this out. Let me pull it up for you guys. Look at Chad. Bro, is that a sick picture or what? Out in Colorado in the mountains. All right. In the mountains, rocking the Stout U, flexing like a savage. Kenny Sprague says he wore his JAKIB hoodie to Royal Rumble. I love giving away Eagles merch, but I do love giving away JAKIB merch because I think it's cool when people like wear the brand you built. I mean, I love that. I think that's dope. I thought that picture was sick, man. The Stout U on the back. He sent me a picture of him with the front too. Yeah, it's really sick. Really dope picture. And the coolest part about Chad, I'm not sure if he's in the chat or if he'll listen after the fact. Chad, I appreciate you. Chad is in a part of the world that I very much love. All right. I very much love. And that is the mountains of Colorado. The mountains of Colorado. He's out in Steamboat Springs, which I had been to. Actually, I'll show you guys a picture of me. No, I can't show the one. The only picture I have of me in Steamboat is not a PG-13 picture. Steamboat. Yeah, no, I don't. There you go. There's one. There's me just. Oh, you can't see me. There's one. Just me sitting up on top of the mountain. Steamboat. Great area. Great area. Yeah, Steamboat Springs is cool. You should get some Super Bowl. I can't, Michael, I'm not allowed to sell Super Bowl patches on merch, brother. I'll have a cease and desist at my house in 6 seconds. Tops. Dude, I did a giveaway one time like 3 years ago. This is some people in the chat actually might remember this. I think our girl SMD Eagles, who's often in the chat, won one of these jerseys. We did when Devontae Smith got drafted. We gave away 10 jerseys all in one live stream. All right, that was like our biggest giveaway. Now I feel like I make 10 jerseys. I put 10 jerseys to sleep. We've done 10 jerseys this week. But we had like a little promotional graphic, and there was this tiny little eagle helmet in the corner of it. Tiny little eagle helmet. Literally 8 hours later, I get a call from Bob Lang and the Eagles legal department. You must scrap this right now. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, Zam, can we order from your jersey plug and are they stitched? No and yes. I don't have any JAKIB bracelets, Cam. No. I should make I started making stickers. I ordered some what's it called? I ordered some just JAKIB stickers that are coming in. I got like test samples though. Because I want to see. I always like to check everything, make sure before I sell it, you know. I'm not a huge fan of selling shit that I don't know. No, he's not. He's doing a job, Real Zeal. He's not. He's fun. He's doing a job, man. He's protecting a $1 billion entity. Yes, Daz, that was. I knew somebody in here would remember. My dad did it. Yep, he was on the show. All right, let me pull the member list so you guys stop crying. Not everybody's crying, but I know what you're waiting for. Matt Dio says, when I tell my daughter, work at what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Well, one, I've never felt like I worked a day, even if I don't like what I'm doing. I just view it as life. What are you supposed to do in life? Nothing? I don't know. I feel like that would make me perpetually upset. Master Chief, let's roll, Big Z. I have a Halo tournament online coming up. You're going to have to wait, Master Chief. But my love, Matt Dio, is more about the community. I think we've built a really fun, good community. And I think that's what, look, talking sports is fun, but I talk sports with people talk sports to me all the time. That's not the element of what I do that I love the most. Zander talks a lot. Yeah, you got it. All right. I'm a talk show host. Yeah, the Peach Kango is the best one, bro. Yeah, I'll put that on for you soon. That thing is sick. That's probably my favorite one. I ordered some new Kangos last night. I wanted to get some freshies for the Super Bowl. Hopefully they come. They should. Oh, a coffee tumbler is what you wanted. Yeah, I'll try and get them, Philly Don. I'll try and get them for you. I'll see what I can do. I might just start bringing it all in house and not use the fulfillment place and just ship out of here. But that sounds like a nightmare. What am I going to have a pile of JAKIB merch over there that I'm shipping out every day? I'm no longer a content company. I'm a merch company. Need some JAKIB Kangos. Nah, you can't do it. Nah, I don't sell the Kangos, James. Kango.com. Kango.com. I am trying to get a sponsorship from them. Brian, I'm working. What are you crazy, man? I'm working. It's the Super Bowl. I'm working. I am working all day on the Super Bowl Sunday. And I'll probably stream very late into the night. We'll probably have like a 3-hour post-game show on that one. Have we gotten one new member today? Let me check on where we are with the Super Chats. All right, I can live with where we are on Super Chats and viewers. We still have 418 people watching me kick it around. That's fun. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I'd have to deal with returns. I don't know. I've never had someone return it. I've had a bunch of stuff ordered. I've never had someone return their merch. But maybe I don't know. Maybe they would. I guess you're right, Josh Bates. It's always a possibility. You never know what you're going to get. I'm going to wait another 10 minutes just to piss off Izzy B. So you guys can all thank Izzy B in the chat again. Also, should I do a legend member? A legend giveaway? What do we think about a legend giveaway? What do we think about a legend giveaway today? Joe Whip, I'm thinking about it, man. I don't think after the parade, though. I don't think after the parade. It'd be well after that. It'd be probably mid-March. It'd be probably mid-March. Where are we at on likes? 225. That's low. Philly Don, look at that. Gifting somebody a membership. Philly Don, thank you, brother. I'll do a legend. I'll do a legend giveaway. I'll do a legend. Dunner says standard. Look, all these simps. You're the best. It's funny how you guys react to the chicks in the chat. I get a kick out of it. Philly Don, thanks for gifting a membership, bro. That's pretty dope. And shout out to my guy, North, who upgraded to a legend last night. Appreciate you, North. Didn't even do it during the show. He did it last night on his own time. So that's dope. I got to go. Sue says she's got to go. Sue, I'll see you. You're still the queen of the chat, Sue. All right. You still hold that title, Sue. Yeah, Joe. Joe, I think you're correct. I think you're correct, Joe. I don't have that issue. Maybe everybody else does. I'm not sure. I got to ask Prince. Who just became a member, by the way, from Philly Dom? Brandon Williams got the gift? Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, 11:02. It took me to 11:02 to even download the member list. I think that's our longest, and I wasn't even going to do Zander time today. I almost said I almost was like, I'm not doing it. But here we are. 428 members, I think we're up to. And Curtis, I must say, I really should be pulling up. Yeah, I've been to NOLA. You know when I went to NOLA, Matt? I went to NOLA in college. Yeah, so you can imagine my experience in NOLA. I went to NOLA in college. You know, we had a date. It was like a date party or whatever you call them. Yeah. Yeah. Good times. Good times. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the legend giveaway first, okay? Legend giveaway first because the legend will be able to pick their jersey. William Stark says, Zander, I enjoyed today's show along with Chris Franklin's perspective. William, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Great to have you in here, William. Yeah, I was all right. Don't get me talking about all that, please. Please, for the love of Pete, you guys. For the love of God. How do I sort this? Let me get this. Current level. There we go. All right, we're doing legends first. Shout out to all the great JAKIB legends. Same rules apply, okay? You got to you guys are funny, man. 63 legends, yo. That is what we have. That is crazy stuff. All right. Here we go. We're doing legends first. All right, same rules apply as yesterday. The only thing I'm changing is if you do get called and you're a legend, depending on who you are, I will like make an adjustment. All right. Who upgraded? Somebody upgraded? Luke's dad. Is that an upgrade? Let me check. Wow, that's not an upgrade. That's just a new member that became a legend. Luke's dad. Let's send some. I bet you Luke is a cool guy. Luke's dad, 66. Thank you, Luke. Luke's dad. I appreciate it. All right, legend member first. Flexing, I'll double that up. See ya, Izzy. See ya. All right, here we go. You got the legend list here. Caesar's going to charge me going to cost me $50 in shipping. Caesar, that's all right. I'll do it for you, brother. I did it for Brandon Howard in Canada. Who knows what yours will cost, but that's all right. You're a great legend member. All right, and I appreciate it. James Jones, don't butter me up today, bro. Not after I had to shred you yesterday. James Jones, I'm not having it. Here we go. Any other upgrades to a legend coming? I will wait. I will wait. Here we go. No, Caesar, you're not paying for it. What's the point of winning a giveaway if you got to pay? 1 shuffle, 2 shuffle, 3 shuffles. Now, the point of getting a giveaway is it arrives to your home completely 100% free of charge. That's the point of the giveaway. It's like when you get a Christmas gift. You guys ever gotten a gift or a Christmas gift or a birthday gift? And it's like, the only way to use the gift is to go out and buy a bunch of shit. I didn't want this. I would have just bought it myself. Here we go. Legend member first. 3, 2, 1. Philly Don. Why does your name keep getting picked, Philly Don? This is his 3rd win in a week. His 3rd win in a week. Philly Don, here's what I'll say to you. I threw the extra thing in your giveaway in your merch last time. Let that be your giveaway, okay? Let that be your giveaway today. Philly Don just owns this thing. Here come all the comments. Rigged, 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 rigged. Ask the refs. Philly Don, will you make the agreement with me, Philly Don? Curtis already made me a new website. I got to just go and use it. Philly Don. No, Legends, you don't got to be present, Andrew. No, I'm doing a new pick. But Philly Don, I will say I do feel a little better because I did throw in that extra shirt for you. So charge it to the game, right, Philly Don? Charge it to the game, brother. I appreciate you for being a Legend member. Philly Don's one of our great supporters here on JAKIB Sports. All right. Go ahead, Mad Bird. Go test it out. Curtis coded me something, but, you know. I don't know. If Philly Don gets pulled here again, I might believe you. I might believe you guys. It might be rigged. 2 shuffles, 3 shuffles. I always say, though, if I wanted to rig something, there's way easier ways to do it than this. As long as it doesn't pick Izzy B, I'll be happy. Here we go. As long as it doesn't pick Izzy B. All the complaining she does. 3, 2, 1. Marcus Padilla. He's got to be in here. He was dropping super chats earlier. Where is he? I hope he's in here. Look, he was in here earlier today. Here we go. Is he in here? No Limit says, who the F? No, I know Marcus. Yeah, Curtis, I'll say this to you. It might be a blessing in disguise that I'm not using yours yet because you'll get ripped. One issue there and you'll get ripped. Marcus is in here. What's up, Marcus? Congratulations, brother, on your jersey win today. I think it's Marcus. I asked him. Marcus, am I pronouncing your name right, or is it Marquise or Marquez? I think it's Marcus. I thought he said that to me before. I don't know. I don't like pronouncing people's names wrong, so. I'll do one more giveaway, all right? See, here's the issue. This is why I wanted to do one. I got 4 jerseys. So, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That was what I was trying to do. Okay? But the other side of it is, yeah, it's Marcus. See, I knew I was pronouncing it right. He told me before. The other side of it is, like, I don't even know if Marcus will get it before the Super Bowl now. It depends where. Keith Johnson's a shithead. Save the jerseys. Should I do a merch giveaway today? I'll do a sweatshirt giveaway. How's that? I'll do a sweatshirt giveaway. I'm doing one each day is what I want to do. Keith, I just showed off your picture, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate your support. Where's Marcus? Marcus, what jersey do you want, brother? What jersey do you want? Well, first off, what size are you? Because I got 3 different sizes here. What size are you, brother? Let me see if I can see. You can see my eyes don't work very well, guys. Yeah, Devin, you're right. UPS is way better. It's more expensive, but. Flex, has she ever not? I mean, seriously, bro. Where's these Marcus comments? Is Marcus in here? A medium or a large? All right, listen up. I see you're working. That's fine. All right, that's best case scenario for you if you can take a medium. The large I have is Zach Bond. The medium I have is Jalen Carter. And the other medium I have is Jordan Mailata. All right, so Zach Bond, large. Jordan Mailata, Jalen Carter, medium. I'm aware, Sig Lord. I know how it works. Thank you. Sig Lord's giving me political expenditure rundowns. Believe me, I understand it well. Jalen Carter, done. Done. Jalen Carter, incoming. I'd go for Jalen Carter too. All right, Marcus has been separated from the pack. Now what we have left is a Jordan Mailata, a Zach Bond, and a Cooper DeJean. All right, so that's what we have left. Well done, Marcus. I appreciate you, brother. Luke's dad, what's going on, man? Thanks for becoming a legend member today. It means a lot to me. I appreciate your support. All right, we'll do one more giveaway. Boulevard says, Zander, did you see Vic at the press conference? Brother doesn't take any misses, all business. I actually didn't. Boulevards. Was that you talking about last night? Q the God wants the 2X coupe. Yeah, I'll be giving that away. Don't worry. All right, I'm going to do a regular Stout U. How about that? Stout U or whatever sweatshirt you want from the website. Stout U, bleeding green, regular JAKIB, whatever you like. Okay? I'll do that for regular members now. And I want to thank everybody again for being a member on JAKIB. It does go a very long way. You know, some people don't. I think some people don't understand that this business is I don't know. Most people who have done this business, I think they think it's more them, or they give themselves more credit maybe than they should. This business is driven by you. Okay? It's all about you guys. That's what keeps our business on the air. Now, not everybody will admit that to you, but that's the truth. Okay? We need money to stay on the air, and money is acquired through either your memberships, your super chats and stuff like that, or sponsorships who want to advertise to your viewership. Okay? So this is my way of taking care, or at least trying to take care of the great people who tune in and support and allow us to continue to build JAKIB and continue to have a company and stuff like that. So thank you very much, everybody, for the membership, for the support. It means a lot. And it goes a long way. Goes a very long way. We are up to 428 members, I believe, which is really remarkable. All right, here we go. 428 of you guys, which is sick. Brandon Williams got a gifted to membership today. Thank you. Well, No Limit. I know I work, but I wasn't saying that. I could work on it, No Limit, and if I'm not talking to anybody, man, it doesn't matter. Don't forget me, Big Z. Brad, don't worry. I won't forget you, brother. I won't. Frank from Philly, no. Thank you, Zander, for being effing dope. Thanks for that comment, bro. Thank you for that comment. Philly Osford. All right, you guys are all buttering me up. It's all right. You don't got to. I appreciate you guys. Here we go. Start. No, this isn't a legend giveaway. This is a regular JAKIB merch. I know you guys want the jerseys. Upgrade to a legend member. Probably going to be most of those jerseys. 3 jerseys probably for legends, and 1 I'll do for regular. I'm sorry. Got to take care of all the legends who've upgraded in the last couple of weeks. Start. I'll do merch giveaways though for all the people. I'll always do something. And by the way, if we win, I've already worked out a deal with my jersey guy. All right. I'm going to have jerseys all through the offseason. So if we win the Super Bowl, stick around, okay? I know you might not watch Eagles content in the offseason, but I will say this. We have a lot of fun in the offseason on JAKIB Sports. We really do. All right. I think it's a great spot to be. And I don't just say that because it's me. I know a lot of you guys have routines where you listen to content every day. It's fun content all in the offseason. All right. So I appreciate it. Here we go. 3 shuffles and we're picking a winner. JAKIB merch. You'll have a chance. 2 shuffles, 3 shuffles, any sweatshirt you like. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jason, this is the best winner of the week. Jason, please tell me you're in here. And by the way, if he's not in here, he's still winning it, and I don't care what any of you guys say. Jason is our winner today. Now, I will give you some backstory real quick on Jason if he's in here. Jason, are you in here? Twiz, you and me both. I'm going to be a miserable prick if we lose. I hope Jason's in here. I hope Jason is in here. Now, Ryan, you won't boo when I tell you why. Jason deserves this more than most do today, especially today, especially this week. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I don't want to say it, honestly, if he's not in here. I don't like to air people's stuff out on the air. I really don't. Like, people send me emails. I don't tell anybody anything. Nah, Ryan, you won't boo this. You won't boo this. You boo anything, but you won't boo this. I was hoping he was in here. Damn. So 2 days ago, he lost his father 2 days ago. All right. I don't want to say, obviously I respect the guy a lot. He's one of our great viewers and supporters here on JAKIB, and he lost his father 2 days ago. Okay. So he tweeted something out, and I responded to him, and I spoke with him a little bit, and I'm happy he won because he deserves it today. Yeah. So real sad, man. I couldn't imagine losing my father. And I don't know much about Jason other than that he looks like a young man. All right. He looks like a young guy. So just prayers up to him, man. And thank you. I appreciate him so much for his support. He's one of the guys who said, your content's going to help me get through the week this week. So losing a father as a young guy is obviously very tough. And I'm super happy he won because of that. That's God looking out. So for all the people who are saying it's rigged, maybe it is. But if it's rigged to get Jason a win, that's good in my book. That's good in my book. All right. So prayers up to Jason. Make sure you guys send some love to him and JAKIB Nation. And I'm happy he got the win today. I apologize that he's not here and I broke a rule, but I'm sorry. I'm breaking the rule for him because, you're right. Maybe I should send him an upgraded jersey. What I'm going to do, Connor, is I'm going to send him an upgraded care package for sure. I'll send him. Don't worry. I take care of my people. I promise you that. All right. I take care of my people. What you guys know, what you guys can guarantee I will do is whatever it is I can do, I will try and do. Okay. I will try and do. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't, Ryan. That's why I said that. But no, I knew you were just going for jokes, Ryan. I wasn't trying to come at you or anything. I was just saying it's, that stuff weighs on me, man, because I love my parents. I know not everybody's got a great relationship with their parents. I got a great relationship with my parents. I got 2 of the greatest parents in the world. My mom's the greatest mom in the world. My dad's the greatest dad in the world. Anybody who tells me otherwise or who thinks other things doesn't know them. So it hits me kind of hard when people say that to me. It does. It really does hit me hard. So definitely praying for my guy Jason, and big congrats to him on the win. Big congrats to Jason on the win. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. He's here. There he is. Look at that. My man. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Jason. I just wanted to congratulate you on the win, brother. Keep your head up, like I told you on the chat. I love you, man. I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. And I'll do whatever I can for you. Love you, man. I love you too, brother. I love you too. I love you too. Thank you, bro, for all your support. It means a lot to me, brother. I feel for you. I can't imagine how tough it is on you right now. And I'm going to get out of here because it honestly, it makes me a little bit emotional. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Losing a father like that is cold, man. It's tough. So, Jason, I'm praying for you, brother. I appreciate your support of the channel. It means a lot to me. I hope we can be a little bit of peace in your life this week, and hopefully the Eagles win the Super Bowl for you and your pop, brother. All right. So thank you all for the support. Congrats to our 2 winners today. All right. Congrats to our 2 winners today. the legendary Chasen. And who else won? Why am I blanking on who else won? Oh, Marcus Padilla. And Marcus won. So congrats to him as well. All right. So big thanks to all of you guys for all the support you give. Big thanks to you guys for making this a community. You know, so Theo said you found what you do, talking sports. That's not really it. I love talking sports. I do. But that's not it. I think we have such a beautiful, amazing community here. I feel like I have a connection with you guys more so than just people in the chat. Many of you guys I talk to off the air. You know, I was hanging out last night. I was working. I'm watching the NFL Media Night, and my guy Flex gives me a call, and I'm chopping up with Flex for a little bit. So I do feel like we have a better community here than most. I try and treat it like that. You know, I don't just want to have you guys as being another person on the other side of a screen. I want this to be a dope place you guys can come and have a good area, good space, talk birds, talk whatever, and feel the love from some people. So I appreciate everything you guys have done, man. You guys have made this what it is. All right. You can say me. It's not me. It's all you guys. So thank you so much for what you've done. I appreciate the hell out of all you guys. Chasen, I love you, brother. Keep your head up, man. Keep your head up. I promise, man. The dark days will end and brighter days will be ahead for you, man. So thank you so much for your support. Thanks, everybody, for your support. It means a lot to me. Izzy B, I appreciate you. James Jones, thank you, brother. RMP, Twiz the Jig and my guy Twiz, Abe, Sig Lord, everybody. Flexing and stepping. Philly Don, I appreciate you, brother. Chris Scott, John Glisson, M. Reyes, my guy M. Reyes, Matt NG, all you guys. I love you all. I really do. And it means a lot to me. So see you next time. Prince trying to lighten up the mood. Izzy wants an oil change. Not getting it from me. Going to have to approach somebody else about that. I appreciate you all right? You hit me with that at the end, Prince. That's a cold one to hit me with. Y'all are hilarious. Keep the head up, everybody. Super Bowl, 5 days away, all right? 5 days away, and man, do I feel good. Man, do I feel good about this Super Bowl coming up. So appreciate you all. See you next time, everybody, on Birds 365.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.